Hey, survivors, we are live. We are going to talk about why we get stuck in rumination, how to heal, and it's a journey. It's going to take some time. It's going to take rewiring our brain, but it is possible. Sorry, my phone's going a little crazy. So feel free to join in at any time. And uh, we get stuck in rumination because we have to rewire our brain. We've been traumatized. And when we start, they're talking about my dad's funeral right now. The phone might be blowing up a little bit. But we get stuck in rumination because it's a scary thing that we're looking at. We're looking at something that's unknown sometimes. And it is possible, but we can't keep living in the past. We have to accept what has happened and move forward. For us to heal, we have to accept what happened. We don't have to like it, but we have to accept it so we can move on. But as we do it, it's physically painful, and it's easier sometimes to keep ourselves stuck. Keeps our mind busy, and it's not a healthy busy, but it's keeping our mind busy, and it's keeping us stuck at the same time. So, in order to heal, we have to face what's going on with us. So, by looking inward is where we're going to find our happiness. We have to realize what our emotions are telling us. They're telling us that we need to get back to doing things. If we're lonely, we need to reconnect with people. We have to understand our emotions. We can anchor ourselves. We have to go through this and face each emotion as they come. The more we repress it, the longer it's going to take to heal. So I'm here to help you guys heal quicker. It's nice to have our feelings validated here. Oftentimes, people don't understand us. They think we're a little bit crazy, especially if you've had any smear campaigns against you, where the narcissist can say pretty much anything and they can be quite convincing. They've convinced us of this false reality. It's hard to understand the false reality because we feel we lived it. And it's hard to accept that we were manipulated. That hurts. It's a hurtful thing. So sometimes that brings shame onto us, and we become narcissistic sometimes. Narcissism is a shame-based disorder. We can heal from it. We haven't been as deeply damaged. The narcissist doesn't want to take accountability, just like right now. We don't necessarily want to accept what reality is now. We want to go back to the past, but if we went back to the past, it's just going to be the same cycle. Debbie is here. You had the trauma bond today more than once. I can understand that. Yeah, it sometimes comes out of nowhere, sometimes seeps into our dreams. And Mia, happy birthday, Eve. Mia is going to celebrate her birthday tomorrow. I turned my heat up and I'm going to melt. Sorry, guys. I was cold earlier. I was cooking and my fire alarm went off. Okay. Um, much better. I turned my heat way up. Uh, John says hello, and Mia saying hi to everybody. So, like Debbie said, this trauma bond, it happens, and you're gonna have good days and bad days. I'm not gonna lie. Some days you're like, yeah, it's it's good. I feel great, and it's a process that you're gonna go through. Like I said, it's okay to cry. It's okay to cry. It's okay to reconnect with yourself, to see when these triggers happen. Did these triggers happen when you went for a walk down a certain road, a certain path? Are you remembering your person? Are you angry? Is it the anger that wants to come out? So, yeah, Mia is saying, so sorry, Deb. And John says, I'm doing just that, healing, but it's not easy. Um, Looking back at some of the deaths that we've had in our lives, you know, it devastates you sometimes, and we get past it though. And we have to remember we can get past this too. That If we start thinking of it as a vacation, that part of our life was a vacation, we got to enjoy it. It wasn't real, it's something that happened and we enjoyed it, and then it got bad. Um, John says, "I still think of my girlfriend and what people did afterwards." I don't know if I would know what people did in regards to your first girlfriend of 40 years that passed away for our viewers. Debbie says, "I don't cry. He must be thinking about me. He was home, LOL." Yeah, I went past. Yeah, you saw his car or something like that. Um, yeah, sometimes it's hard when you're in the same town too. You wonder if you're going to see him at the grocery store. That we have to take away those thoughts. So if we're like, are we going to see him at the grocery store? Change your thought process to like, this is what I need. I'm going to get what's on my list and go. And you know, um, we got to be stronger. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I know you guys are all struggling, but we have to move forward. We miss out on a lot of our lives by living in the past. John says, sometimes I lose focus, but never give up. Yeah. You get that brain fog or a little bit of depression, anxiety going on. So you might slip into uh, just kind of giving yourself some time, just kind of chilling, not necessarily doing anything. But we have to start thinking, is this healthy? What could I be doing that's healthier? Or what could I be doing that's more productive? Should I clean or organize or lift our spirits and look at, let's learn about what kind of birds are out there and then go on a bird hunt. Don't kill them. Just look at them. But learn something new every day and, try to keep the positive stuff. I know with COVID that happened September 11th, and the stuff that's going on in Ukraine. There's a lot of negative stuff that goes on. So sometimes even just watching something different or listening to certain musics. There's that ASMR, which can be relaxing. It's just sound. Just get lost in the sound. And it's a distraction. It gives your mind to think about the sound and to enjoy the different things and the different beats can get your body in a different uh, rhythm. And Debbie says, I saw his SUV. I dropped off my grandson Liam. He's 3 minutes away from them and 3 minutes away from Josh. Josh is still in the fog. Josh should come visit us. I hope Josh will join in. It could help. Sometimes we get a little nervous or unsure, but we'd love to have him here. We'd love to have him here. John says, you're probably doing better than him, Deb. And yeah, so John's like, yeah, the narcissist a lot of times that, they portray that they're okay, but I relate it to the kids at school that are struggling. The ones that act like a narcissist, kids in general, sometimes it's that brain development, the attention span, the need to hear their voice, but the ones that act out are miserable, and they don't know how to express it. Debbie says, I'm guessing so, John. Kind of funny though. Yeah. So sometimes looking, it's like, are they better off? We get jealous sometimes or angry and curious. So try not to search their social media. And Debbie, I'm glad you brought this up today because it kind of lets you see that uh, when we search, not that Debbie was searching, okay, but she passed by his house. So if you're searching, it leads to a bad day. If you're searching their social media or searching, are they at Walmart where I'm at right now? Are they this? Are they that? That we have a better day when we don't do that. And you know, uh, both parties would need to change for it to work out anyways. So work on yourself and what's meant to be will be. I wouldn't hold your breath. I wouldn't necessarily suggest going back to them because they don't want to change. Debbie says, I just texted Josh. I don't search. I don't care what's on it. So, yeah, I'm not saying that you um, did that. I'm just saying, as an example, you passed by it and it kind of didn't help, but yeah. So, you know, it affects us whether we necessarily care about it or not. And as time goes on, it gets better. So if you run into them, you're gonna get this big old wave of feelings sometimes, and then it does get better. And I can relate it to, I hit 4 deer. I didn't mean to, only in the dark. um so you search only in the dark, or what are you saying? um so I hit 4 deer in 1 year. And the first time I was freaking out. And the second time I was like, oh my gosh. Third time I was like, are you kidding? Fourth time I was like, here we go again. But I noticed, as you experience things, it changes. And, time will help through this. John says, I'm just fixing up little details on my projects and work on my apartment, mostly spending time with the pets. Yes, that's one great thing to do, is just enjoy those little critters, a little furry thing to just kind of soothe yourself and keep you busy, and, have, snuggles. So we get stuck in the rumination though, because we got to reconnect things. We're trying to make sense of it. We're problem solvers. That's who we are. We've been trained to get our mind to problem solve. How do I make this better? What is it that they're going to want? How do I say this? How are they going to react to it? That we're hyper vigilant. Our brain has um, been rewired to go a little bit crazy. Um, and the healing takes time. The healing takes time. So I'm glad you guys are here. Is anybody really struggling? Debbie, do you know what kind of, um, you say, I only go past in the dark. I haven't gone past for weeks. It doesn't mean much. I had a feeling he was home, so I had to prove it to myself, right? As always. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes we get those feelings, but the more we stop doing that, the better it'll be. But I get it. I get it. I've been there, you know. But you're being a little secretive. So, I get it. That doesn't give them the opportunity necessarily to see you. We all get curious. I get where you're at. Um, but we have to remember, doing that, we don't know if they're inside. We don't know if there's somebody else inside. That doing that is just a waste of our time. In all honesty, it doesn't give us any answers, Um, because we don't know what they're doing. We don't know who they're with. We see a card there, but we don't know if they got picked up and they're not home. So all we're doing is seeing a car in a driveway, and we could have been reading a book. We could have been chit chatting with me, but sometimes we just want that confirmation, of what we're thinking. So with this live chat, we can kind of have some confirmation on our thoughts, our feelings. And Kalibi says, hello, hello to everyone. Hi, Cynthia. Look at all those flowers. Lots of bouquets and tulips. How you doing today, Calibri? How's the little soap opera at the apartment? Enjoying your new car? So I had told you guys that, what is it? Next weekend, I'm going to be out of town, so I won't be able to do live chat, but I'll have to figure out when I can kind of go live with you guys. Got spring break coming up, so I should be able to make up for it then. So feel free to tell me how you guys are doing. Any questions that you have. John, what was it that you wanted to talk about? Why are they toxic? What makes a narcissist That's what it was. What John had brought something up. What is it that makes a narcissist toxic? Um, so Kalibi says, good. We're having narc galore today. Oh, must have been the bad chili they had today. Uh-oh. From what happened? What are they doing? So he had asked what makes them toxic. A narcissist becomes toxic. It's a little bit different than somebody else struggling. with maybe autism or Asperger's or other things, um, the narcissist shows us a false side of reality, of what's going on, um, that we don't know what state of life we're in. You know, are they being faithful to us? Are they going to come home? Are they going to pick us up? Are they going to throw a fit? Are they going to cut us down? You know, if we show them, hey, what do you think? You like my new dress? And then they just bitch us out. And it's like, oh my gosh, you know, I was excited. I felt good, felt pretty. And now you say all this stuff. They become toxic because we don't know what's going to trigger them, and we don't know what lies are the truth, and we act on those lies, and it gets really frustrating, let's say you don't live together and they're like, oh yeah, I'd love to take you out Friday, so we go, we buy a new dress and get our hair done and nails, and then you just get blown off, so we invest, and we could have gone with somebody else, or just a friend. w- we're living at their beck and call, you know, that if we cancel, we get, you know, but we don't know what to expect. I'm gonna turn my heat down or I'm gonna melt. Um, his sister's car is there, LOL. I almost texted him until I realized I was in the trauma bond and I didn't. 27 days. We are so proud. I believe he's suffering, but not enough. I want to hear from him. We need to talk. Tell me what you need to talk about. What is it you want to say to him? And how do you think he's going to react? John says, I discovered a round shaped piece of styrofoam today that reminds me of a Star Wars robot. It's only about 10 inches across, but I want to make a flying drone out of it. Ooh, are you gonna put anything in the drone? Like a camera? Um, that's neat. I'd be too afraid to have my camera flying around. Kalibi says, "How could they?" And it's cool without. It's just cool without. My dad, he had a drone. You guys know he passed away recently. I'm gonna write that down. I guess he had to get like a flying license or something like that. He got some kind of. I'm gonna see. My mom said we could have whatever. I don't know where that drone would be. Um, yeah, she's like, just take whatever you want. And then somebody took the camera I wanted, but it wasn't a sibling, so we don't know where it went. That's the thing, shady people. I discovered a round shaped piece of styrofoam. Cool. Let us know what you make out of it. If you do, go ahead and do that, Joan. Kalibi says, how could they exist and live every day feeling that way? My God, what a waste of life and earth space. I like the way you put it. What a waste of earth space. Yeah, we got this huge globe. And yeah, what are they doing here? Um, how can they exist and live every day feeling that way? As far as they're not, it's hard to describe. Um, they're like little kids, overly emotional or overly unable to express what they're feeling. They feel lost, just like drop a little kid off in the middle of nowhere and they're like, how do I survive? It's overwhelming. It's frustrating. Um, they have to latch on. A child will latch on more if they're not regulated. The narcissist doesn't know how to regulate. Anger management skills sometimes are lacking. Mia is saying, congrats to Deb. Yes, we are so happy. Debbie says he needs to come to me, otherwise silence is golden. Golden, and that's exactly it. At this point, if they discard us, or made it so bad that we had to leave, that you know, us chasing after them is just giving them permission to do it again. So they need to invest if it's, going to be a friendship or whatever. Um, but just be aware that they can do that. They can hurt you and not try to make it better. Are they crying and um, wanting to apologize? If they apologize, is sincere. Um, so Mia says, agree, K Flyer. John says, I'm painting it chrome or silver and adding stuff later. Not sure yet. Yeah, some of those paints are pretty cool. They look pretty realistic. Dog says, aloha. Sorry, I'm late to the party. We are so glad to have you here. Party on Mia's birthday eve. She is having her birthday tomorrow. Um, John says, I can add a controller circuit and propel it so it can actually fly. That'll be neat. Yeah, sorry. I got to push my hair back so I don't look naked. I did that teaching the kids and I was like, oh, like trying to. I'm just so hot. Yes, we are glad you're here. How's it going, dog? John says I can add a controller. Exactly. John says, hey, dog defender. Mia just, yeah, John's doing another project. His mind's always thinking. And that's the thing. Like sometimes, um, you know, we got to keep our mind busy. And that's why a lot of times, too, the narcissist, in a sense, is onto something where they can't be busy or they have to stay busy. Do it in a healthy way. Don't go, person to person sleeping around or whatever, partying too hard. But they do it to keep their brain busy. We can keep our brain busy to keep our thoughts off the negative. Um, and we have to focus on the positive. I don't know if you guys saw my video today that I made with the rain in the background. And I said, it was in response to a viewer, Melissa, who has been in here. Um, she was struggling and she's like, God hasn't, um, what were her words? God hasn't, she didn't say undid, undo. God hasn't undone. Yeah, God hasn't undone the, I can't remember her exact words, but basically, God hasn't taken away the pain from what's been going on from her person. Um, and we have to let God do that, or we have to let ourselves do it. Um, if you have a God, you can put that pain and he can help you through it. It takes a little bit of the load off. So, not all of us are religious, and I can understand that. But we can either take the burden on ourselves or take it with a higher power, whether it's the universe, however you want to look at it. But the change uh, in thought process, I said, in my background, you could see it raining and you could look at like, wow, that must suck. If you got stuck out in the rain, your hair is going to get wet, your clothes are going to get wet, but you can look at it as something beautiful too. You can feel the coolness or the warmth. You can look at it as an outside shower. Just kidding. But, you can look at the beauty of the rain, seeing it splashing and bouncing off of things and knowing it's going to nourish the world or the area that we're in. It's a symbol of life, and it's all a matter of perspective and perception, and we have to change the way we perceive things. Be thankful for what we have instead of upset at what we don't. That little shift right there will make a huge difference. So, yes, happy almost birthday. You are like the 5th March birthday this month of France. Oh my gosh. Yes, and did you notice that? She called you a friend, Mia, so we are definitely friends here. Giving you lots of love. Mia says hello to D. I said, yeah, the donkey, not you. Wait a minute. What? I missed something. Oh, the donkey. I think I know what you mean. The ass. Mia says just another project. Love it. I was on support. I think I told you guys that yesterday. I did tell you that with yesterday, that's about all I did. I did like, I don't know, 5, 6 hours of support calls. I did YouTube and then I did my computer, had to do 2 service calls because they helped me. It was like 2.5, 3 hours doing to where I could record with my voice. I was like 2.5, 3 hours, but when we did it, it started jumbling my keys, and my keys, you hit it, and then it would turn into sometimes numbers or the wrong letter, and so he's like, "Okay, well, log out and then log back in and click on this, and we can deal with that." But he logged me. I couldn't log back in because I couldn't type in my password because my keyboard was all messed up. So I had to call support, and that was another like 2 hours, and just to fix my keyboard. And so he fixed a problem with my recording, but then I had to fix the keyboard. That was crazy. But life's good now. See, that's the thing. Like sometimes you got to deal and troubleshoot. We can look at that as our healing thing too. What I went through yesterday was kind of crummy, but it got me the answers and life's good again. It was frustrating at the time, but we have to have faith it's going to work out. Um, John says, "Kinda, I just happened to find this phone." What? It's popping around. So Kalibi says, "I have closed the door of friendship. They can stay out there where the crazies belong." Yeah, it's okay to be cordial, like, "Hey, how you doing? Have a good day." Um, but yeah, we have to realize too that they're human too. If we instigate things or act coldly to them, they're going to react to that coldness. Either they're going to want to attack us or they might go away. But I like to play it safe where you just you know nod, wave, but some you stay away from. Like some are super dangerous. Those are more the psychopaths, sociopaths, but um the trust is broken. So lots of birthdays for you, dog. So Mia says, "Thank you, dog defender. That is very nice of you." Look at those little cheeks, little smile on that little emoji. John says, "I'll post your." Ooh, John. Yeah, John's really sweet. So you are making a birthday short for Mia. John's always so kind. You just John says, "I'll post your birthday short after the chat, Mia. Hope you like it. I'm sure you will." Yeah, and he's done that for me too. So big kind heart. Dog says, "Hello." Oh, hey, Kalibi, I'm with you. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. Save yourself a ton of grief. And that's the thing. We gotta believe people. Um, they do. They tell on themselves, and we are like, "Oh, come on, you're so silly." They're like, "I'm such an ass," and it's like, "Oh, there's a reason they say that." um, yeah, we miss it sometimes too. We got to watch out for those red flags. Mia says, "Yes, John, always. I love your videos." And look at the cute little emojis. We have to not be hard on ourselves too. We have to realize what we went through. Maybe we made some mistakes. We have to take accountability to that and realize we can't change it. We have to accept what we did and do better from it. Take it as a learning experience, but don't cut yourself down. We've cut ourselves down. We have cut ourselves down for a very long time now. We've tried to figure, do I need to lose weight? Do I need to look better? Do I need a haircut? Do I need to, do this or that? Or do I need to start wearing skirts or switch to, fancy pants, like slacks all the time, or change our image or whatever we're doing. When was the last time you heard the word slacks? Does anybody say slacks anymore? Anybody call worksheets dittos? I still like calling them. I've been good this year. I'm not calling them dittos that much, because they're not dittos, but I remember the smell. Comment below if you've ever smelled a ditto instead of that purple ink. Brings back your childhood and the paper feeling a little bit wet. That was the best. I don't even know. Did the teachers? I think the teachers probably had to crank it. My dad had one in the basement. Um, So, yeah, dog says, "Mia, I hope you have something you want to do. Have you thought about what you're doing?" I've spent some birthdays alone. I'm okay doing that, but heck, why not reach out to somebody and, um, or hopefully somebody has invited you to do something too, and start taking your friends up on these offers. Um, because people, those are the people that want to have time with you. Pay attention to the people that want to have time with you. Calibri says, "Thanks, Dog Defender. Whatever niceties they show, I cannot fathom believing what I see." Yep. And it's, easy for me to go around and pass out cookies to you guys because I'm sick of them. You're like, "Oh, she's so sweet." Doesn't necessarily mean I'm being sweet. We don't, and I am. I'm really nice. But sometimes gestures, if it's a one-time thing, we don't know what it means, but there's patterns over time too. So trust the patterns on what you see. Trust what you see with them and their other people, other things that they have done. They are showing you their pattern, you know. Um, Kalibi says, "Thanks, Dog Defender. Whatever niceties they show." Yes. Mia says, "100% agree, Dog Defender. K Flyer, just like actions speak louder than words. That is exactly true. But it gets a little tricky with narcissists because, there they go 2 months later showing up with roses, or, wanting to take you out somewhere really special or, you know, uh yeah, the narcissists, that's why they're so toxic because 'cause they're so different. Um, somebody doesn't like you, they're not gonna do those things. But the narcissist, they might like a portion of you. They might like, your sexuality, or they might like your status or your money or your popularity, that they like that portion. That's what they wanna take from you. Um, you know, they they can love bomb. That's their manipulation tool. And schmooze and brown nose and um where did I go? Yes, being a real being a realist Calibri is quite healthy. Better people are out there and won't make you scratch your head. Yeah, dog defender says, yeah, because we're like, what's going on? What do we believe? And what did they just say? John says, I've managed to see that movie again, but YouTube says it's not available in this country. But yet I seem to trick it into playing weird. There is those aliens on your side, or that angel that we've been waiting for. I just need a sign of an angel. They let you into that YouTube. You can use VPNs. We had to use VPNs when I was over in China to get around because China, you can't use Google. I don't even think we could. Well, I had the VPN. I don't think you can have Gmail. Um, or they use Bing, but you can't Google things. You can Bing them, but it's nowhere near the same. And the reason that the Chinese government controls you, they control your thoughts and actions, and that's what our narcissist likes to do too, is control the situation. They have to remain in control because they felt out of control, or uh, they need to control the situation to achieve the level of grandiosity that their parents had like built them up. And that's where they started learning manipulation tactics. So if they were supposed to be, the star student, that they started weeding out which tests that they would show. Oh, I got an A. They started being scared if they showed anything else because they only got adoration when they achieved this high status thing. Um, and they started realizing that they're not perfect, so they can't show that they're not perfect, otherwise they get cut down, and it's just ingrained in them then. Um, just like, have you guys, I do it too, but, like how I say, or like, I want to like, how people would say like all the time, especially when I was growing up. That's hard to break. That's hard to break. I still do the ums. I still do like, but uh all these little things. Trying see, I do it again. Trying to stop certain little things are really hard. I started saying like in 7th grade. I remember our teachers like, don't say it, say other things like to, or also, or whatever it fit. And our narcissist, to get them to change is just like trying to get that word like out of my mouth, or the out of my mouth. It's a struggle. And it's more prevalent, I guess, if you're either nervous or unsure. Um, and then the narcissist, or buying time, the narcissist, their personality is ingrained in them, just like that little word. And I hope that's an example to show you that change is just not that easy. You can sit there and go, Cynthia, stop saying like. And I'll try, but it's going to keep happening. And just like with the narcissist, you ask them to stop some of these bad actions, they're just going to happen. Their frustrations are just going to happen. Sorry, I do not understand. My apologies. What do you mean, Mia? Apologies to you or the way you say things? Dog says, yes, being a realist. John says, I'm sorry. Mia, dog defender says, sorry, I do not understand my apology. Oh, you don't understand your apologies. So, dog defender, what did she say? Mia, I hope you have something you want to do. She's saying that, what are you going to do for your birthday? Is there something you want to do? So she's just asking, I hope there's something in your heart that you want to do, like maybe go for a walk or roller skating or a special restaurant. And you can correct me. So dog, I got it caught up. So Mia, I think she's asking in a different way. Is there something you want to do for your birthday? What do you think about doing? She's trying to say it where she's not putting you on the spot, where she just says, I hope there's something you want to do. Because she's I think just being polite, like you don't have to say, because sometimes if we don't have plans, um, we can either be relieved or um, not wanting to share that, somebody didn't ask us out or something like that. So I think she's just trying to say, hey, I hope you have a good day. John says, so true, Mia. They say one thing and do the opposite. Have you seen my video on the opposite day, the narcissist? Everything is an opposite, even the way they think. Um, it's so opposite. It's so opposite. Mia says it's just they cannot make up their minds either. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Mine was like, I have no clue what I'm doing with my life. Because they do that sliding versus deciding, and I still think, yeah. Mia says it's just they cannot make up their minds. Mia, I hope you have something to do. So that's yes. John says they can't focus either. Yeah, sometimes too they have either those porn addictions which take over their mind, or they can focus at work. They can focus on work. They can focus on things that they want to focus on, because if them focusing on work is going to get them adoration, um, or they have to hide if they don't know how to do something, they'll make sure that they figure it out. But they flip flop on a lot of times the careers that they want. Mine were really good sticking to their jobs. Really good. And some they just want to be the best of the best, or sometimes they want to be the worst of the worst. Either way, they just want attention. But as far as their focus, their brain is underdeveloped. And there's different parts of our brain. So if a certain area is underdeveloped, that is what's going to be affected. So their speech might be fine, but the emotional side of their brain isn't developed. So that's where the problems go by. And they present as a full grown adult. They can use big words, complex sentences, higher order thinking, but and they're manipulators. They use words as their weapon or their protector. So they can focus on some things, but not always, you know. Um, Nor to BPM. It bebopped again. I mean, says I do slacks, pants, trousers. Good. We even got trousers going on. So let me catch up. Dog says, everyone, race you to the thumbs up. Go. Yes, let's see who. Boys against girls. Boys against girls. We do that in school all the time. Come on, guys. You got 10 seconds. Boys versus the girls. Who's going to do the most thumbs up? I know, guys, there's more girls here. Girl power. Mia says, no. John, they cannot. Yeah, so but we can focus. We can focus on hitting that thumbs up. John says, I love you, people. What more can I say? Smooching again. John's our little smoochy smooch. But we have boundaries only on the cheek. Mia says, love you too, John. And lots of love. Dog says, you a friend in us, John. You're a friend in us. You have a friend in us, John. And we have a friend in you. Win-win. Yes. Yes, it is, and that's it's so nice. Yes, we're finally winning again. Mia says, "I do, Cynthia." As far as do you still say that? Slacks, pants, trousers, and it's interesting. They were saying that basically my generation, and a little bit younger, is going to be like the last people who understand what that dial-up internet sound is. We can even see how things in our lives have evolved from V8 tapes to cassette tapes to, we had beta and VCR, VHS tapes, CD-ROMs, floppy disks. We see change. So our life is showing us change just in that. You see a little baby, they grow up and change. So change is possible. Change is a part of life. And, you know, it's trial and error, but if you see all those things, the baby growing, it's experience. You see the technology, it's usually better, or at least learned from, or in a process of learning from it. Dog says, okay, first of all, Cynthia, changing my wardrobe, slacks or skirts would never change anything in my life. And that's true. I get it. But a lot of times people will do that. Do I need to work out? Do I need to go back to school? Do I need to make more money? That they're not like, this is me. This is me. It does feel good to take personal care. Uh, you know, I know I have a habit of not wearing my nice clothes. I'm saving them for a special occasion, which never happens. So go wear those clothes. And I'm not saying go buy stuff, but I can't tell, but I curl. Oh, you can. There you go. Curled my hair today. Or even just comb it. Some days we're like, I don't want to comb it. But I know people are searching for answers on what was it that they didn't like. And it's not that there's anything wrong with you. Um, you wanted to communicate. That's what's wrong with you. You're a caring, compassionate person that has feelings. That's what you were a human, not an object. That's what the problem was. So as soon as this new supply starts showing that they're human, because right now things are great, you know, there, nothing's going wrong because it hasn't evolved into uh the destruction. It's a cancer cell that's going to infest the relationship. It plants that seed, and just even the vibrations when they're off is going to switch the relationship. It's going to cause insecurities in the new supply if the narcissist is hiding things, or it's going to take time for that to come to light because they hide things. But the vibrations are going to go off. And that Galloping Gertie bridge, the bridge that broke by wind, that is fascinating to watch. But it just starts out, and then you can see the waves start, and and then it just breaks. And that's what's going to happen with the relationship every time because they don't settle down those vibrations. They don't have it in a healthy heartbeat, just like your heart. If it gets into too high of a, yeah, it's not good. Um, so yeah, dog, I get it. But sometimes it can feel good too to do that, but we shouldn't have to change for somebody. Whether I have curly hair or straight hair has nothing to do with who I am as a person. And God forbid I ever got cancer and lost my hair, then, if they're only there for me because of that, if I had curly hair, well, now I'm bald, that we need to be loved for us and through thick or thin, you know. But that's why changing yourself isn't isn't good, because you can even look at it as they only like me because I do this now. They only like me because I work out every day. I mean, it's good to work out. So I'm not saying don't do that. But, if you break your leg and can't work out all the time, are you going to start feeling down because you're not going to be loved or things like that? That you need people to love you for you. So I hope that made sense. Dog says, "So I'm going to have to dig deeper on major changes." That's right. Yeah, unfortunately, isn't just grab a pink dress. Life's good. And if you don't wear dresses, a red dress. I'm just kidding. Um, a leather pantsuit. I like you guys to wear a leather pantsuit. Um, yeah, we do have to, in all seriousness, do have to dig deeper. And, the things that you like about you, you don't have to change. Realize if what you are doing is toxic, yeah, change those. But if you like to wake up early or you like to do whatever, you're entitled to do that. Just, don't figure out what is important to you, and that's where the boundaries are set, and there's nothing wrong with that. But stick to your boundaries. Mia says, Cynthia, nobody, I spend all my birthdays alone. The ex narc used to say, I don't remember things like that. Huh. So I don't want you spending your birthday alone. Would you like to do a live chat at 2 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time? We can do that. Would you like to do a 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? Because I don't want you being alone. Uh, It would just be a quick little, hour or so, maybe 2 hours, but we'd like to celebrate you. You're worth celebrating. So comment below. Melissa is here. Hi, Melissa. Good to have you in chat again. And I was just mentioning maybe we could do like a 2. I could do a 3 o'clock too. Eastern Standard Time. That would be noon Pacific Time. If you guys would like to do a little happy birthday to Mia. John says, I've been working on a security camera robot too. Little things I'm doing. Yeah. And it's healthy to keep our brain busy with good things. When we start um, ruminating too much, it's getting our minds stuck. It's making our, uh, they had those army, I think they're the army ants, certain ants. I believe it's the army ants and maybe other ones too. There's so many different types. But if one gets disoriented, that it's the leader, and then it gets disoriented and it starts going into this spiral, and then they just start marching in a circle, and they march until their death. It's just this like spin cycle. We don't want to get into that. We don't want to get into this rotational destructive where yeah, we're moving, but we're moving in a circle. We want to break free and get out of that disorientation, and we don't want to march to our death because it can be it is. And this is what gets scary. It's like a death of who we are, that we're not going to be the same person. We're not going to be the same. uh it's like a refurbished home. It's not the same home. We're going to have to refurbish ourselves, and that doesn't mean it's worse. It could be better. It's up to us how we rebuild it. We can be a little bit worse. We can be as close to the same as possible, or we can upgrade. And you guys, I say upgrade. Put that shine on, put that glam on. And I'm talking about your inner glow, not makeup. I'm talking about put that shine on. I always tell myself too, to put the shine on, like before I do certain videos, I'll put the charm on. Um, and then you just, and it feels better. Like even when you do it, you get the energy and you feel it. And be around happy, positive people. That's why a lot of times, a lot of people like going to churches. Find a church, or when I say church, it's up to you guys, whatever you believe, synagogue, mosque. I go to like a church, but when I say that, as I think like there's a generalized term as like a place of worship. Maybe I should start saying that instead. Melissa says hi to everyone. We're so glad you're here. So John says you won't be alone, Mia. I'll be thinking of you. And that's the thing too, is good point, John, because my father, you guys know he passed away in November. And there was a thing on my Facebook that popped up, memories from 6 years ago today. And it was me. And I said something like, woohoo, daddy's home. Because he was home from the hospital. And So 6 years ago, he came home from the hospital. I was extremely excited about it. And I posted a picture of him throughout the different stages of his life. It's a beautiful collage that my sister made for him. Um, so I just wrote today, I miss you, daddy. And I was thinking about that, because I do miss him. But I had to do my taxes and I did them by myself. And I've done them with him many times. Last year I did it by myself. But because he was sick and all that stuff. But my dad was still there with me. Just little things, go into TurboTax and, I had to look something up and I have emails from him. So they're still there, you know. Our memories are that my dad was there the day I did my taxes. He was still there. So, you know, Mia, we're here with you, even if you can't physically see us every day or type with us. But that's really sweet, John. Yeah, you're in our thoughts. So if we're ever like down in the dumps where nobody cares about me, I'm all alone, nobody cares about me. There are people that care about you. Some people you don't even know that care about you. So Dog says, Mia, if you meant about your birthday, I was saying I hope you have some way in mind you want to spend your birthday and have the option to. I've spent many birthdays, so I plan my own. Yeah. And my wonderful narcissist on my 50th birthday, blew me off. And I don't mind if you cancel. But did he call me? I think I finally contacted him at like 6:30. Um, but like, and I don't expect gifts. It's okay to cancel, but that's like a milestone birthday. And, you know, I could have done other things, and sometimes too, they do it, that they say it's pretty common that they ruin your birthday a lot of times too. So a milestone birthday, like 50 years, and no real apology. It's just like, oh, well, can't do it. It's like, oh, thanks for letting me know. And you know that they knew before you finally got through to them. He could have told me at noon. Um, 2 o'clock. Why is it 6:30 at night? Um, and nothing. Yeah, it's just all BS. Dog says, Mia, if you sorry. Debbie says it's nice he's thinking about me, even if it's because he needs supply. He probably thinks, wow, 27 days made. Maybe I need to worry. And we have to be careful with this. I'm not going to tell you guys what to do. Definitely be open and honest with me. I'm just going to give you some insight. So when you guys say certain things, I believe that's why you guys are here to kind of hear maybe my thoughts. I hope that's why you're here. But yeah, he probably does think about you. They don't think about us as often as we think about them. Um, but 27 days, you know, uh, he hasn't reached out. Do you think he's walking past your house or uh, is it wondering how you're doing? He might be wondering what you're doing. It I don't know your person either. So I'm not saying, maybe they're not a narcissist. They can think about things differently. But, you know, I get what you're saying, but um, this is said very lovingly, Debbie, that I've been in your spot too. I've been there. And it's nice he's thinking about me, even if it's because of supply. And we have to, guys, please, please change that thought process. I still go through it too. So easier said than done, but this is why it's important um, to change that we have to up our self-esteem. That if it's supply for sex, we don't want to be used for sex. If it's supply for popularity, well, if we're popular, do we need this extra tag along? Who could give two craps about us? That we stop thinking of ourselves as it's okay to be wanted as supply. It's not okay for us to be wanted as supply. Um, I get what you're saying though, but What do you think's gonna happen, Debbie? Do you think he's gonna reach out to you? Um, I know it's confusing with the narcissist. Sometimes they like us, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they wanna spend time with us, sometimes they don't. But try to focus on who has your back. And we often want what we can't have, you know? It's really good that you went 27 days. He can show you his character, and that's what matters. But um, we have to realize what our deep desires are. Are we really longing to be back with them? Or do we want them to have the karma? There's times that maybe it's, you know, the karma that we want too. But and I get what you're saying though, Debbie. I definitely do. Debbie says word NordVPN, John. The So I don't think John has a VPN is how he got on it. John, do you have a VPN? I had to pay for mine from what I remember. That was 6 years, 5 years ago that I went to China. John says, "Hey, Melissa." And so does Doug say hi to Melissa. John says the best thing I'm doing is moving on and doing self-improvement. I think we all are. That's a good thing. Yep. Just take every day. Calibri, oh, you retracted your message, which is okay. I'll just say it every time I see it. So that's okay. Calibri will retype it. It just has something in my eye. And you're right. You just keep moving and that's gonna make us feel better too. The more self-improvement we do, the better we're gonna feel. It's a win-win. So Mia says hello to Melissa. And Dog says, Mia, I'm so sorry. I have a list of all the places that give you free dessert or something. Oh, what's a Sephora too? Sephora is a makeup place for you guys who don't know. Um, and I just say that because this is a worldwide video. I don't know. Gosh, it just moved around. Hold on. Okay, I'm almost back to where I need to be. So John is saying that he'll be thinking about you. So that's where I am. So, okay. Free dessert or something fun, Sephora, etc., and go on a birthday adventure. I often meet people along the way and meet lovely people. That's the thing too. Yeah, you can definitely do that. Um, and it's okay to reach out to people too. You walk past somebody, make connections. Don't always wait for people to make a connection with you. I told you I was super shy growing up and I forced myself to talk to 3 people a day, and I had to journal. I had to go somewhere every day. I journaled it whether I was sick or not. I don't know if it was smart to do it when I was super sick, but every day I had to talk to 3 people. And that just means like going somewhere to the of course I was like 16, 17 when I did it. So I could only like walk to certain places, but and then when I had a car that I could borrow, you had to ask permission. But I'd go up to the 7-Eleven convenience store and say hi to 3 people. I'd walk up there and if I saw somebody walking their dog, I'm like, "Oh, cute dog. How's it going today?" And like your coat, whatever. But it trains you into getting back to talking to people and it builds confidence too. Um, so try and do that you know, and it gets you out of the house. And it helped me. It really helped me doing that. Dog Defender, I just own my own company. Quite, I will plan on taking a cleaning day off. That's all. Yeah, be careful. I became a workaholic too. And that's a coping mechanism when we overwork. It's a coping mechanism too if you work too much. But I'm guilty of that. Um, that we have to find balance in life. But I'm glad you're talking about taking a day off. That's a very healthy, like, oh, you weren't winking in your little smiley face. Um, but sometimes just a day to ourselves is really nice. So that's good. Mia says, wow, Dog Defender, that's nice of you to tell me that information. Thank you so much. Yeah, and that's like a little gift of information that, treat yourself to certain things. And John says, great idea, Mia. Whatever pleases you, it's your special day. It is your special day, and you were put on this earth for a reason. to talk to me. So I see some of you guys. Let me catch up real quick. So, oh, you guys are really talkative. I'll catch up, guys. Are you missing? Hold on, guys. I will catch up. John says, by the way, Cynthia, yes, the robot I've been working on has special real working dash cam and a speaker so I can program a voice into it. Realistic, super cool. Doug says, the best answer I've ever heard about. Oh, I got top chat. Let me put everybody's chat. Oh, why is it not giving me the option? I want to make sure you guys can see it. Live chat. Okay, sorry guys. Now you can see all the chats. Of course it changed it, brought it way down. So now you guys can see it. Next time remind me, sometimes I forget. I'm still new at doing that. I am catching up super quickly. Hold on. Dog says the best answer I ever heard about narcs is you wanted and thought you got a toaster. In reality, of a dishwasher. Nothing personal, nothing you can do. Wrong appliance. Yep. I like that. It is a good analogy. I agree with John. Dog says three missing. Um, I don't know what should be my 3 missing. Oh, I know what dog's talking about. We need some thumbs up. Yeah, dog's my cheerleader. I know what you mean. She's like, "Come on, guys." Yep. Let's get those thumbs up. Thank you, dog. You're so sweet. It does help. It really does help. Keeps me motivated. And, I have almost 1,000 videos that I've posted. And I think I've made $117 for 1,000 videos and hours in live chat. So Mia says, dog defender, thank you again for the idea for the birthday. But it helps you get thank you. I see some, I appreciate that, guys. So Mia's very thankful for the birthday ideas. And Mia says, I will be back, but please excuse my interruption. Oh, that's okay. Not a problem. Dog says, I know you didn't mean it literally, just thought to rub you for a good chuckle. Dog says, the cancer group I was in, we made our pages private to keep grief tourists away. Sad, but a reality. Um, yeah, sometimes too, people like to feed off of that. Who was it? Cluster B Milkshake. She is a self-aware narcissist, and she went to a therapy session for like AA, something like that. And maybe it was maybe it's domestic violence sufferers survivors, and they kicked her out, and she was really upset about it because she wanted to give some insight. We can learn, I've learned from self-aware narcissists, but there are people that tend to want to see what happened to somebody else, to get a kick out of it, or to torment people more. They get a high off of it, or just curiosity, and they're not there for good intentions, it's for their own intentions of, curious, and sometimes too manipulation to hear, this is what happened. This is different things. But I believe that's what you're talking about as far as a grief tourist. Dog says, well, Mia, thankfully he is your ex. An online birthday. Yes. Dog says, that's so sweet of you, Cynthia. I would love a Mia birthday bash. So if you would like, we can do a Mia birthday bash. Dog says, Melissa, are you okay? You haven't said anything, just checking in. Um, yeah, so dog is asking. Melissa seems a little quieter, but I know Melissa's struggling a little bit too. So feel free, Melissa. In this chat, we're loving everybody, the interaction. So it's not interrupting. If I'm talking, feel free to say some things because I know you want to talk about a couple things too. I made a video for you today. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it. Melissa says someone Facebook Messenger blocked me. Um, let me scroll down. I get so nervous scrolling down because she is friends with my narcissist step monster. Um, and dog is saying, Melissa, is that's Is that bothering you? And Melissa says yes. So, do you know why they blocked you? And how do you know they blocked you? I know a lot of times you can see that the person's profile picture will turn to white, maybe just like a little gray outline or something. But uh, I don't know how to know if somebody blocked you. Do they just turn white? I know you can search and find out, but you don't, I believe, get notifications. Where so is this somebody that you are currently interacting with? Because I believe if you're currently interacting with them, you'll see them on your scroll down. Um, and Basil's here. Hi, Basil. We're talking with Melissa right now, but welcome to the chat. Basil says greetings, Cynthia, and chat. Uh, Some people that you don't even know care about you. That sounded beautiful. And that's so true. That is really, really true that some people really care about you. You don't even realize it, whether it's somebody from the past or somebody that you work with and you don't realize how much they care about you. You know, there's people who can shed tears over you and you feel like nobody cares, and they do, or they talk about you years later. You made an impression on someone. You are alive in somebody else's mind. And it just surfaces every now and then. So you made a difference. Um, I'm just curious. So I know how people can tell. So I can kind of interact because that's something I don't know how to tell. Um, but were you hoping to interact with them, or is it just the fact that somebody blocked you that's hurting? Are you upset that they cut you out in a sense, or is it just, cut off the connection? Because we could take things personally, you know, but we can also look at it as their loss. You know, I get it though. Um, Basil says, sorry, Dog says, okay, I don't want to take this opportunity away from Cynthia. You guys are free to, you're always so polite to me, Doug. Feel free to join in. Yeah. You say, I don't want to take this opportunity away from Cynthia. She's our go to, but for what it's worth, anyone from X's camp, better to not have in your world or access to your social media. So, um, yeah, yeah. Why, why entertain it? Like, it's giving them access to our information too. Unfortunately, I think if they block us, they can still see our stuff too, which is crazy. It was also, I want to do more research on it. There is a way to block back, but it's kind of a tricky thing. She thinks he's not an abuser. And that happens a lot of times too, Melissa, that they don't realize what we've been through. And, so these people will stand up for our abuser, and that can hurt us even more. We reach out to talk to them and then they tell us we're crazy or we're wrong or our perception. Um, you know, uh, and yeah, I know too that sometimes the relationship turns toxic and, you know, it matters if it's toxic to us. Certain things, if I'm like, "Hey, you fuckhead, how's it going, fuckhead?" Some of you are like, "Oh, going good. How's your day going?" And other people's that's going to hurt or bother them, or certain intimate acts can be inappropriate, off limits to you, and make you uncomfortable, or whatever the situation is. If it's healthy for you, it's healthy for you, but um, if it's crossing over your health boundaries, like emotional health boundaries or physical, that um, we have to protect ourselves too. So that can be quite hurtful when we're looking for people to be on our side. So I get it, Melissa. Um, Dog says, "I'm so sorry you are hurt. Believe the universe has your back and is likely protecting you. Facebook is riddled with nosy, mean, and genuinely unkind people." Facebook is riddled with two sides of the coin. I saw this one video too. It's YouTuber TikTok, but I wanna see how this goes. It's so crazy. I wasn't gonna do it, but I did it as an experiment. TikTok has that, whatchamacallit, if it the y the teenage me, and let's see, hold on. Um, oh gosh. Okay. Still growing. But there was this one person who did this filter, and he or she, it was hard to tell because everybody's with their gender things, and it was tattooed with a hat on. Some people said she and some people said he. So I'll just say they. um at first I thought it was a guy, but it might have been a girl. Confusing how to talk. So this person um had all these, it was 43 upside down teardrop tattoos. And if you see the video, they'll have it up here. And they said that they had tattoos covered with a hat or some head covering. And they were like, whoa, when I did this uh, video, when I used this filter, I didn't expect it to bring back all these memories. And they would never answer what those teardrops really meant. And teardrop tattoos can mean a loss of someone. They can mean unaliving people, and they were saying too that it could deal with like being in prison or being branded by somebody who's using you for sexual favors in prison. So just kept saying, I'm just so sorry. I'm just so sorry." And the way that they said they're sorry, um, 'cause he said they were flipped upside down because he didn't give a fuck, or she, didn't care, uh, and it was just a bad time of their life, and I'm so sorry. It was interesting, people were asking, "What are you talking about?" What does that mean?" They didn't wanna say it. Now granted, they are on public media that, but how deep does the accountability go? You're saying you're sorry for what? You know, you don't want us to judge you. What aren't we judging you for? you know, and 43, the way it sounded, it did sound like maybe some gang type. A lot of people might have been unalived, and uh, you see people like really supporting this person, and others are just asking what's going on. Like, why don't you say what it is? But two sides of the coin, and you see it in comments too. And people not, you know, I don't know. It's it's scary, when do we trust people? People when they go through prison or things like that, with the recidivism, repeat offenders, um, how many people change, and what triggers them, Um, but we do also have to, the people that do heal and change, we have to give them a chance too. So it gets confusing. When do we give people chances? Debbie says he lives near Lake Michigan. He's 15 minutes away from me. I wish it was because he misses me, but I doubt it. Debbie, are you in Michigan? Because I can come see you, girlfriend. I used to live on Lake Michigan. Hmm. Um, I wish it was because he misses me, but I doubt it. And um, when we don't know what he's thinking. So Debbie, um, don't get down on thoughts we don't know what they're having. He probably hates me anyways, or he probably thinks I'm a loser, or, probably doesn't even care. Whatever thoughts are going through your head, those are your thoughts. Those are, negative self talk. You don't know what he's feeling, and you can't ask him. So don't entertain those thoughts. It's going to take effort to stop doing that. Um, we can, I wish he missed me. Leave it at that. Um, but I doubt it is cutting you down. And let me try to explain that real quick. So it's okay. I wish he missed me. I wish it because, I wish he missed me. That's okay. That's a normal feeling. But when you say, but I doubt it, that is you with negative talk. So, and I get where you're coming from, but it's a change that we're going to do to make it healthier. He might not think about you, but don't put that thought, that negative thought onto you. Just leave it at that. You know, I hope that makes sense because we're rating our self worth in that moment. Um, and I hope that makes sense. Melissa says narcissists can take your friends away from you. Yes. Or either steal your friends away from you, turn them against you, cause havoc. Yeah. And that's another reason why we feel so isolated and alone. Um, and Dog says, Debbie, are you in therapy? It might help to break the trauma bond. Debbie says, maybe after 100 days, lol. I'm just not caving in. I'm not willing to go back to that bullshit. I do have a therapist. He said the trauma bond can last 20 years. I'll be dead by then. No, you're not. No, you're not going to be dead. Um, and we never know when our time is up. So when we change things where we embrace today, where we realize our time is limited, but it's unlimited in this moment because we don't know. So I thought I was going to be dead at 40, not because of health issues. I just thought, just my luck. I'm 52. So we don't know how long we're going to live. So, um, don't be negative. Look at it positive. We have to change the way we think about it. Not like my time's going to be up. I'm a goner pretty soon. Um, you know, uh, the trauma bond, yeah, it can easily. That's why, um, I know with everything I've been through, with the different changes that I've made, realizing how long I was stuck, um, he didn't have the time of day to tell me whether he was dead or not. I today have anxiety, which I never like. I'm happy, but it's affected me on my good days. Like my chest hurts and I'm anxious, and it's like, what the fuck? Today's a good day. What? This is bullshit. It takes over your body, and you have to rewire it. So, I don't want that for you guys. You know, when you stay in a hope state of then coming back, that's what's going to do it to your chest. That's what's going to hurt you. I hope you guys take this to heart, that the longer you hope with them not giving us signs of anything, or consistency or any indication, you have to let it go, live your life. If they come back and it works out, you know, we could talk about it then. But if you live in that state of hope, that is a state of anxiety. It's an adrenaline thing that's going on that is damaging your brain. It's the heart and mind are together. And I don't want you guys having panic attacks later on in life, or the constant painful uh, anxiety built up, or the brain fog, that we can nip it in the bud, the sooner the better. So we have to remember, your therapist said it can last 20 years. Doesn't have to. So just remember that it can last as long as it needs to for us. It doesn't need to last 20 years. If we learn, knowledge will help you through this. And that's really important to know. Kalibi says, I found out more about that Redmond, Washington stalker news. I just saw that. The woman is primarily stalked. She was love bombed by the stalker. She also asked for a protection order. And he said, what the fuck? Personal protection order isn't going to stop anybody who intends on doing harm. So Be cautious of the people. I told you my friend's husband just killed her on Monday. Shatter, I don't know. He had some mental illness. I think based on a post, and I have to clarify. I think I don't know him, or it could have been drug alcohol induced. Either or. I don't know him that much, but you know, she was love bombed by him. He killed her husband too, and he killed himself. And it's so crazy because what's the purpose? What is the purpose? And that's where this is the twist in, but I love you. So maybe he thought he loved this woman, but she didn't want anything to do with him. He didn't respect that she was married. I don't know how she handled her husband, but hopefully she was a good wife. But he didn't respect their vows of marriage. So he still pursued her and it was ruthless about it. And what is the purpose? He's dead now, so he doesn't get to be with her. Um and angry at the husband for being married to somebody who this guy just walks up and meets. It's sad, and that's that entitlement. I want this one woman. I'm trying to remember the story of. Oh, it's something, on a blog? Something about a blog they met online, I believe, or through the radio, I think it was a radio blog. So Mia says, "Lots of love." Yes, we love you, Mia. And you never answered. Don't be a narcissist. Do you want a birthday party tomorrow, 2, 3 o'clock? It's up to you. So don't be a narcissist. You have to answer me because this is an open, honest invitation. Dog says, Debbie, whatever the reason, ultimately your desire to be away from abusers is the best choice you could ever make in a show of solidarity with you on your self love journey. And we're going to have a super great party, 100-day celebration because she's going to make it. um, and you'll be 87. My grandfather is 98 and a half. So, yeah, you know, 87, you're still gonna be alive. You and I are sharing a, nursing home room when we get older. So we got that to look forward to. Um, because 'cause I'll be 77, we're not that far off. We're about the same age. I'm just a little younger, not that far off. So, Deb, please don't say that. Um, yeah. Dog says, "Debbie, whatever the reason." Yes, I read that. Yeah, you're right about that personal protection order, though, um, you know, we have to take steps to protect ourselves too. Mia says, "Deb, you'll still be here." Yeah. Positive thoughts make a difference too on our vibrations and our healing powers and, um, you know, uh, and heck, why not just be positive? Don't worry, be happy. Dog says, Debbie, I double dog dare you to ask 10 therapists that specialize to tell your therapist is slightly off by many years. Promise. Ask Cynthia. Um, This is a thing. I can't say that. I've been there. I've been there. Um, but but like I said, it doesn't have to take that long. It doesn't have to. I got stuck. Um, I was, you know, not willing to accept what reality was. So, you know, it's kind of like it can last a lifetime too. It can. People can go to their grave wishing to be with that person. Um, Sometimes by us taking control of our lives again, you know, feeling good about ourselves, sometimes even just going out. That's why, sometimes when we do get dressed up a little bit, go out for coffee with your friend and someone's like, oh, you look really nice today. It's a confidence boost. And sometimes that helps. We don't have to be loved for our clothes or our hair or our makeup or whatever, but it can make us feel good about ourselves. It can be, you know, uh, a snap back into the world. So it can, John is doing much better. John actually called me, or I'm sorry, not called. He texted me. It was like 4:30 in the morning when I saw it. Now, just luckily, but he was ready to call, an ambulance. He's like, I am that depressed. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I've only been on YouTube a year and 3 months. So, he hasn't been in it as long. He's pretty well recovered. Um, with some struggles here and there, those memories pop up, but um, so Debbie, don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on yourself. And don't take those words as that's how long your struggle is going to be. That's not just like with COVID. Some people had it for 3 days. Some people had it for 6 weeks or months. I knew a guy who had it for months, or that long haul syndrome. COVID. How long is it going to last? Trauma bond. How long is it going to last? Depends on our self care, depends on our predispositions, on our triggers, our thoughts, if we have mental illness, things like that. But you can't even say it's going to take 2 weeks, you're done with COVID, because it could last longer. 2 weeks for the trauma bond could last longer, but it can also be quicker. So don't take those numbers as absolutes. So you're going to be here. You're going to get through this, and you're already making strides. I didn't do 27 days for like 30 years, so good for you. Um, and then I also had the agitation with all the custody battles and him constantly berating me and putting police reports against me, trying to control my life. And, so the more you separate, but I couldn't separate because, it was that constant crap that was going on, having a child with him and things like that, where you have to communicate, but you have court orders telling you not to, and all the stress. So mine was prolonged because of the prolonged stress too. So you are separated, which is good. So Basil gives a thumbs up. Thank you. I love those thumbs up. Feel free to click that thumbs up, guys. But I appreciate that, Basil. John says to make a point. My narc tried hard to turn even friends against me. Didn't work in her favor, though. I already have a good reputation here. Emojis don't count towards the algorithm. So if you can hit that like button, that does help. That does help. So it helps me smile. But as far as the algorithms and the channel, if you want to help the channel out, please like and subscribe and share with people. Um, so I'm waiting. John says, "Hey, Basil." John says, "I'm still here. I'm here still, just doing some chores here and there." Okay. Did you hear me talking about you, John? John, saying how good you're doing. Basil says, "Hi, John." Ooh, I like that emoji heart. Dog says, "We need Cynthia to believe in herself and not give up. It's very difficult to spend your free time with a group of people. You are helping to give your all when your videos are not shown in the algorithm." Yeah. Um, Thank you. Yeah, it does help me. It does help me because like I said, it's been, probably 3,000 hours I have done on these videos for 118 bucks or whatever it is. I haven't even gotten the check yet. They only pay every, um, 100 bucks. So it'll probably be another 4 months before but, it just help stock me up on chapstick because talking so much. That's where the money goes to. Um, but yeah, it does help with the algorithm, gives me a little boost. Because that's the thing is narcissism is on the rise. And, this is your group too. It's not just me. It's not necessarily just helping me. We are meeting people from all different walks of life, all different stories. And um, we have, really good advice from you guys. I try to give the best advice I can give, but the positivity that you guys bring to each other, the more people we've gotten rid of, people who didn't fit our group. There are people who we will weed out. This is going to be a really good community. This is, the people we're going to have birthday parties for and, celebrations for 100 days no contact, that you guys make a difference here. And this is your group of friends and we can expand it. And then when we expand it, I hope to meet in person. you know? Um, so John says, I believe in her. We all do. She's the best. Oh, thank you. Dog says, Cynthia, this is a person from my ex's stepmother. In my opinion, isn't that a blessing? Um, hold on. Your ex's that I lost you on that one. Um, I'm not sure who is what story that's tied to, and if you're being sarcastic or serious. Sorry about that. I lost track of what you were saying. Dog says, please clarify. Dog says, yes, John, I know, but thumbs up actually matter and many don't remember. Yeah, and even on just videos, it's free to do. It's free to do. So feel free, because otherwise, I'll put time into research and then making the video, and I have some that have like 1 or 3 views, um, because it clicks off on the algorithm that other people, maybe they'll see it, but the longer it goes down in that pile, that stack, think of each video as being stacked and to get to that video. So there's some content that I have that's really good. And I have a lot of competition, and I'm not saying that I'm better, but I am. No. But it's like you don't even get a chance because, they're already there. And everybody has some different insight. And I think I can run with them. I can go up against the big dogs. Uh Not that I'll win, but I'll go up against but we all learn from each other, different styles. And um Melissa says I tell her about my problems. Okay. Um do you think it was too much for her? Is that why she blocked you? Sometimes tell me a little bit more about the story. Uh Because sometimes people will discard us, um, because sometimes they see us as too needy. I know, I talked about that only Jayus who just broke up with Maddie, um, and Maddie, supposedly, according to only Jayus, broke up with her partially because she vented about her parents' divorce too much. And, they were talking about a future together. Granted, supposedly Maddie cheated on her, but um, it gets overwhelming to people sometimes, and we have to pick up on clues. People don't always communicate that, but do you have a feeling of why they blocked you? Because it sounded like there was a friendship if you're able to talk about your problems with them. But that's what I'm kind of thinking. Maybe they just didn't see eye to eye with you, unfortunately. Not that you're wrong, but people do things for a reason usually. Not that you're wrong, but um, yeah, the blocking can hurt. Uh, Dog says, John, I know you always support. Dog says, oh my word, Melissa, that is sacred info. You cannot trust anyone in enemy camp. I like that enemy camp. I'm going to start using that. Yeah, be careful what you do share because it could get back to the person and that's going to cause them to get either upset or to attack back or to call you crazy. So if you're sitting here trying to prove your point on your situation, it can backfire. Dog says, "If you called me F-head, I'd spit coffee across the room laughing. Shut up, you fuckhead." Good. We're gonna hang out one day. Fuckhead. Dog says, oh, sorry. I just have to read that again so I can call you fuckhead again. Melissa, I thought she was supportive of me. And that's the thing. It's sad what the way people communicate, you know? If she was truly there for you and said, "It's getting a little much," we have to take it, and if that hurts our feelings, we have to accept it. Um, but you know, I've mentioned this sometimes that we, in a sense, start using our friends. We call them. and we're talking about what's going on, and they're there for us. And it feels good that we can vent, but we feel so crummy that we start wanting to feel better. So we spend too much of our time talking to our bestie or whatever, ad nauseum sometimes, or they give us advice and we don't take it. We're trying not to hurt, but we're not living in the moment. That's why we need to start focusing on the person that you're talking to. Um, did you talk about them? Did you ask how they're doing? What their hopes are, what their dreams are, what their struggles are. So it hurts when we lose our support system. Um, but we have to keep it in balance sometimes, to, maybe ask a couple questions like, what do you think about this? He hasn't called. And they can say that. You asked your question. We come back with the, but what if, or how about this, or why, or yeah, but we, we, we take away from our friendship. And people start feeling that. So it's a hard balance, Um, it's a hard balance. Basil says to Cynthia, should a guy open up about his narcissistic supply syndrome to a new girlfriend? And if so, then at what stage of the relationship and how much info should be shared between partners? Um, should a guy open up? Uh, it's I mean, honestly, yeah, it'd be nice to tell people. You don't have to necessarily say, I'm a narcissistic supply whore. Um, you can say, I've had guys say, I only want to fuck you. If you fall in love with me, I don't want to be with you. And I knew it's like, no, that's not what I want. And I appreciated that honesty. Um, there's other girls that are willing to do that, you know. But you have to realize if that's what, you know, is going on, it's m you can say things like, "I have a hard time connecting with people. I need some of my space." Um, I don't get into deep conversations. We can talk about cars, we can talk about this, but if you wanna talk about schmoozy woozy, I get uncomfortable, that guy would have to tell what his love language is, and that's when it can last longer. There can be matches, but it's gonna destroy it if, the girl is thinking, he's gonna be my Prince Charming and, um, you know, uh eh, y if they have the supply syndrome, um, that they have to be honest. They have to be honest. I don't wanna get married, or I only wanna get married. I mean, there's people that do say that stuff. Unfortunately, the crazy part is the girlfriend's probably going to take it like, "But I can change you. But I can change you. I can get you to love me." And then she's gonna try harder, and then this is gonna fall apart anyways. Just just be nice, everybody. It's just, um, yeah, uh, in short, should there be a limit, or should I fully open up in order to build more trust with your partner? You can say, "I struggle. I struggle." Um, and that's the thing. If you do that, it could lead to a longer relationship. That's you being vulnerable. That's the biggest step forward. So, yeah, because people with narcissism, there are some good characters to them. Um, and if they can be healed or make progress towards that, nobody's perfect in this world. So, if you don't address it, that's what's gonna throw the vibes off. That's what's gonna cause you to hide things. That's what's gonna cause you to lie more. So if you can be honest and she's like, "But I think I love you," and you're like, "I appreciate our time together." And she's like, "But do you love me?" You can say, "I really care about you, but I don't get that deep. That's just me. I don't get that deep. Um, but I want to be with you." You know, to where she's like, "He didn't say I love you back, and what the fuck? We've been together for 6 months." And it, it's the communication. Um, So should there be a limit, the sooner the better. If you and I were dating and, I'm investing and investing and I want a baby or something when you get married, have a baby. And so now 8 months go by and we're getting to the serious point. Now you tell me that you don't want a baby, or that you knew I wanted one. That's going to cause a lot of hurt, a lot of resentment, a lot of wasted time. So the sooner the better. And then it's not a change where she's not gonna feel like you um, put a blindfold on me. I'm at a loss for the right word, but, uh, like, not sided, but, you know, weren't honest with me. So the sooner the better. Just say, "I struggle with connection," l if you struggle, uh, how, and there's different stages, you can say you're working on yourself. Are you going to therapy? Are you physically abusive? Is there certain triggers? Because I told you too, I worked with the guy who his brother's name was pronounced Basil, Basil, but coincidentally, but his brother, the one Um, I I've told you guys this story before where I was the silly little teenager like, "Oh, you're so cute." And he took me down, like he slammed my face into the floor and stuff. I'm 6'1", smashed into the floor like within half a second because I touched his face. His mother used to beat him that way. So you can let her know, if you have any triggers. I'm not saying you're physically abusive, but fully open up. That's what a relationship is, being vulnerable. And that's when you're going to feel loved too, or realize, that it's not a good match. Because if you love me because I'm a Hollywood actress, that doesn't feel good to me because I'm not. So I can sit there and like, oh yeah, I'm a Hollywood actress. At the end of the day, I'm not going to feel loved because I'm loved for something I'm not. So you'll know and you'll be loved for who you are. And that's going to make you feel better and help you build. And I give you a lot of props for asking that. I'm very proud of you, Basil, for asking. Yeah, fully open up. And it can be worded in kind ways. But if you want it to last, you have to be open. John says more thumbs up, etc. Yeah, we're waiting on hitting that big old 7 mark. Mia says, John, look at that thumbs up and check mark. So I am proud of you, Basil. Excellent question. Dog says, Melissa, my ex best friend, my maid of honor in my wedding, was a trusted friend in my camp. I've known longer than my husband. Guess who had an affair with my lying, cheating, thieving, loser husband? Oh, that's the fuckhead. Isn't that crazy? And I'm assuming that was your best friend. Um, you hear a lot of those double whammies where your husband and your best friend. Um, my heart goes out to you on that one. Basil says, and on the other side of the spectrum, would the narc himself ever open up about his abusive past towards his own supply victims? Um, they can. Are you talking about? Yeah, they do. I've experienced it. Um, Not severe abuse, but he talked about something, um, kind of like grabbing her towel, knocked her, she hit the floor or whatever, blamed it on her. Um, But if you're talking about in the intimate relationships, because there's bragging stories of abuse, I beat the motherfucker up. Um, you know, if you have a felony against you, if you have a pattern, I know one of my best friends, hers is triggered uh, to where you can't just wake him up. You have to be really cautious waking him up, or he'll beat the fuck out of you. Because he was, I think, like ended up in the hospital, beat while he was sleeping, like a camp or something like that. But he instantly goes into protection mode, so um, yeah. But so so you're asking me if they ever would? Yes, they can. Um, and I think your question goes deeper, and I'd like you to reword it if you'd like me to go deeper. Because yes, they can. Um, and I know you are looking for a little bit deeper, I think. So feel free to type away. Dog says, most mean unaliving. My experience with law enforcement, my hubby was in gangs, but it was rite of passage. They do it near the web between thumb and index. Um, hmm. And each gang probably does have different symbols. Not always though, because like, what about the teardrop up here? I've always heard by the eye, but yeah, this is a little less seen. And I see that too. What is it? The open teardrop is a loss, and then colored in is unalive. Um, I can't remember which is which. And then people don't always follow the rules. So when the rules aren't followed, it changes the meaning. Sometimes people don't even know what certain things are. And the upside down, I take it as an I don't fuck. That's why I think it was unaliving because if it's a loss, you're gonna care. Well, I don't know. Teenagers don't always care so much, but kind of like I don't care that I lost you, but if you don't care, why put that on you? So I think it was an unaliving thing. Um, oh, Wisconsin. Okay. So that's the Lake Michigan part. Okay. John says to be truthful, Basil, mine actually did. She did talk in detail at the beginning of her abuse issues. Still, the relationship went nowhere. What was it that she shared with you? That she was physically abusive? Because I think that's what Basil's asking. John, was she a narc though? Because that might really make a difference in the way they open up. Um, John and I have talked about that. I think she was more not. Um, we talked about like borderline, bipolar, schizophrenic, things like that. And I don't think you're talking about your 40-year girlfriend. I think you're talking about the one that begins with the letter S. Um, and you're right though. Borderlines, we talk like crazy if you're a borderline. Um, bipolar, we talk like uh, you know, the narcissist will talk, but they don't open up. The borderline will uh like the friend I know, it's a connection thing too, but yeah, they want to talk and talk. It gets tricky too, male versus female. Women use like 4 times as many words. So we never know. Calibri says, time, don't forget to. Oh, yes, Calibri, you are correct. Spring forward, which means we lose oh, crap. We lose an hour of sleep. Aw, here I was all happy. It's okay. I had a snow day Friday. Can't complain about a shorter weekend. So, yes, guys, spring forward. I'm glad you said that. Debbie says, first off, I'm not a loser. I never think bad of myself. Good for you. I have lots of good thoughts of me. I think positive. I keep myself busy. Perfect. And that's why you're going to get through this. So, yeah, you're not a loser. And good for you. There's times I think bad about myself and I have to snap myself out of it. So, um, just love yourself because you're worth it. John says, thanks for the reminder, Calibri. And yes, she's the narc Basil. Great attitude, dog defender. Um, but I love that with the self love. Definitely love yourself, like Debbie says. And um, yeah, she's the uh, unstable. At that time we were thinking we haven't really talked about her so much anymore in depth, but it was kind of, yeah, she was also, RSD. We're going to talk about just the different types of things that go on with people where they don't communicate the right way. They get confused as being a narcissist. But it all comes down to communication. That's why when we're trying to figure out what they are, bipolar, borderline, this, that, autistic, ADHD, that if they can communicate, we talked about that yesterday where leaving the cabinets doors open, people can take offense. Like, you're fucking doing that because I asked you not to do it and you're doing it to piss me off or you don't care about what I say. Sometimes they forget. If we can understand each other, that it's not the label that needs to happen. If somebody says, I'm sorry, I forget, I'll try to do better. And they really do try, but we have to understand each other. And the mental illness makes it harder because of the brain fog and not knowing what expectations are, people from all different walks of life, different cultures. John says most of my automatic phone phone, etc., would change the time themselves. I just have to reset a few clocks in my kitchen. I got to do my kitchen one too. Otherwise, I'll be looking right before school and I'll be like, yes. Mia says, can someone tell me what time do we change the clocks? It they changed it. It used to be midnight. Well, it used to be 2 a.m. Um, and then they did it like after the bars closed and but I think it's supposed to be midnight. It's supposed to be right at midnight. Um, what time? I believe it's right at midnight. Does the clock change? Uh, daylight savings time, DST. Um, oh come on, people! I think it's right at midnight. La, 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 la. Nothing has changed. Daylight savings time will end at 2 a.m. local time. Okay, so it is still 2 a.m. They change it. 2 a.m. They, they care about the bars. Yep, I keep seeing 2 a.m. So at 2 a.m. But the way I look at it is like, just know what time you got to wake up. What I do is I set it, like if I was to go to bed right now, I set it ahead one time. So right now it's 10:54. I would set it for 11:54 and set my alarm for whatever time. And that way your alarm's going to go off. Your phone will do it automatically. So if you put your phone at a 6 a.m. wake up call right now, it's going to wake you up at 6 a.m. the correct time. You don't have to adjust for anything. Um, Dog says my mom will be in 100 in less than a month. Oh, is that amazing? That's fantastic. Yeah, so we never know how long we're going to live. So yeah, me, it's 2 a.m. And depends on where you live. It's so crazy with Arizona. Half the state follows it, the other half don't. Who Indiana just started. I don't know. Everything's like changed. Indiana a couple years ago followed it or didn't follow it. Now they do. But they're talking about possibly getting rid of it too. Basil says to John, I believe I also had a relationship with a narcissistic girlfriend that didn't last for long. And we too did open up to a certain extent of our dark sides. And that's a bonding thing. If you guys do dark things, yeah, and then what'd you do? Holy shit. Yeah, you know, that could definitely be a bonding thing. John says after midnight. Yeah, according to what I'm uh, looking up. It says 2 a.m., but yeah, unless you're trying to go to a certain store or something like that, just go ahead and set it now if you want to too. You just need to know before you go to bed. Just change it. Unless you don't have to worry about waking up. But if you're going to church or doing something on Sunday morning, just do it before you go to bed. John says, I changed them now so I don't need to later. Mia saying, thank you so much, John. Dog says, Mia, tonight at 2 a.m., automatically change on phone, TV, etc. Yep, just watch your microwave or coffee pot or things like that. And John says, that's about right, 2 a.m. usually. Yeah, that's what I remember. Mia says, I have to change clocks in kitchen by hand wall clocks. Yep, hand wall clocks. Yes, gotta change them. Dog says, hey, Basil, how are you? Sorry, I missed you. So, dog saying hi. Uh, and I can list many times I thought I would die because of a loss. Here to tell you, I recovered every single time. That is so true. Basil, dog defender, I'm good, maintain full distancing with my abuser for a couple weeks, but he's recently been trying to pull me through love bombing words. Mm, yeah. And that can get hard, you know. Uh, do you trust them? Let me see what else she wrote. He told my friend that he's worried that I would go no contact as I did in the past for 6 months. And dog says, me too. I always do it Sunday morning. Look at my watch, change the microwave, stove, coffee maker, wall clock. My phone is always my go to clock. Yeah. Yeah. That's the most reliable too. It's synchronized by satellite or something like that. Um, so, so it sounds like you guys are talking again. Or at least he's reaching out to you. Debbie says, I've had it a year already. This just lets me know that I'm still weak when it comes to him. Um, yeah, you know, but you're able to understand what you're going through. You're able to seek help to get through it. You've gone no contact for 27 days, which is phenomenal. You're taking your stand. You're taking your power back. So it's not going to take you 20 years. It's not. It won't take you. You know, if you take the bulls by the horn, reins by the horn, how horn bull by the horn, um, a few months, a year, but each day gets better, and that's um, something to celebrate. Something to celebrate each step. Um, and it's going to be a time where your steps are going to progress and it's going to get quicker and quicker and you're going to get excited that you're feeling better and be careful though because they do hoover sometimes. Be prepared to know how to handle it. Are you going to entertain it? Are you just going to um, protect yourself? Why go through it again? It is a never ending narcissistic cycle, that they will devalue you. And, if you think, there's going to stick around, it's still going to be abusive. Um, so, Basso, with your situation too, what's your person like? Do they struggle with anything? Because you started saying something about the negative talk, um, the issues. Oh, that okay, that it didn't last. Sorry, I get it now. What you said about that, but you know, certain advice that I can give you too depends on who the person is. That's why knowing how to handle something can come down to what mental illness the person has or the way they're going to interpret things. because it gets real touchy with a narcissist. John says, I told my pets to adjust their watches. Ha ha. Mia says, John, the stars of the show. Yes, the little hamsters and gerbils and mice, and got a duck going on now. You got a duck? Dog Defender says, we're missing 3 thumbs up. You're so sweet, keeping track. Let's go 3. um, I was number 3, Dog Defender. Yes. Thank you so much. So you're welcome to stay. I'm just teasing. Um, it's appreciating. Dog says Cynthia reframe as service that will lead to the big numbers. Oh, that's right. Yes, service definitely. So thank you. Dog says Cynthia call in button, please. I wish I could have a call in button. Is there one? But that would be nice. Call me right now. You want to call? I can. um, I wouldn't mind. Uh, I don't think you can do 2 people at the same time, but I would love to do a video with you. Where, like how I did it with my nephew on the psychedelics, that interview. That'd be nice. Dog says, "LOL, John. Those are tiny watches." John, most of my videos have been getting good views. I have 105 subscribers now. Yay, that's a celebration. Good for you. And Melissa says, yes, it was too much on her. Yeah, and sometimes we have to realize that. So, you know, moving forward, it's a lesson we learned. If time goes by, um, and if it's a healthy person to be in our life, but if they have a connection with the narcissist, you know, is it the right person to be in our life? So, did we miss some warning signs where they're like, look, I gotta go. Sometimes we can miss certain cues where, somebody's like, okay, well, I gotta go, or I gotta get the kids, or, running out the door. What do you need? Where we miss certain signs that people are starting to withdraw from us because we're coming on too strong. We're needing too much. And that's the thing. When we hurt, we do need. We do need. We have to learn how to deal with it in different ways. So, um, I know it's been hard on you, Melissa, and we'll help you get through this. I was too honest, and we have to be careful too when we're too honest. That we can say certain things, but how we say it makes a difference. You know, like you're bugging the fuck out of me, or I'm really busy, I wish I had more time for you, but I have to. There's different ways too that we can handle it. Sometimes it gets difficult. um, John says, I'm running out of ideas, and last night I had to delete some old stuff because my memory was almost full. On your phone or your brain memory, use an idea pad. That's Yes, I got my idea pad. Oh, yep, definitely do that. I definitely do that. So yeah, that's a learning lesson, Melissa, unfortunately. You know, and yeah, sometimes there's things that we can overshare. If I walk in the door and you're like, oh, you're fat as fuck. I'm not, but it's like, okay, like, did you have to say something? Little things like that, that not everything we think has to be said. Debbie says, I'm not depressed by any means. I'm the one who decided it was time. And that's uh nice. That is nice. I think that's a little step up where we were the ones who are like, enough. That's good. That's already at what a lot of us struggle for 20 years. So you're in the end times. You're in the end of the cycle. You're going to get through this. This BS would have gone on forever, and I just didn't want that. I told him I was going to work on myself and learn to get over him. Yeah, so you have some inner strength in you. I'm going to say that one more time. You have inner strength in you. You are able to do that. A lot of us can't do that for a long time, or we're forced to do it, but you did that on your own. And that's a good sign towards your healing. And you focused on what you were able to understand what it was you needed. I need to learn to get over him. You knew what you needed to do. So you're going to get through this. Kalibi says, with all the experiences I've had with narcs, it gets me more cautious on what information I will be sharing with new people. Yeah, don't give away so much. I think it's Dog's been helping me with Cynthia. You share too much, or or you know how naive I am. We'll put it that way. Kalibi says, with yes. Debbie says, I feel better than I did. I needed my space. Yes, I miss him, but in person, I miss our conversations, not the silent treatment. Those silent treatments are horrendous. Um, they're treating you like you're dead and you're a living person. They treat you like you're not worth the time of day. Um, it's different too if they're like, "Hey, I'm not ready to talk about it. Let me," but they leave you in the state of hurt or confusion. And that's where this training towards the rumination, where we're caught up in our thoughts because nothing comes full circle, or it takes such a delay and they're in control. We're feeling unsettled and we allow them to control it. So we are stuck in the wanting to finish that circle of communication where we got to change it, like, whatever, you don't want to talk about it. All right, I'm going to go do my thing. Um, and wait for them to come back. We're- it's going to become more natural when we up our self-esteem. But that silent treatment's horrible. Klebe says narcs send dysfunctionality to a different unsavory level. Good vocabulary. Uh, it's a level that they can only understand. Yeah. Cause you're like, I'm sure you guys can relate where you're like, look, all we need to do is this. Just, we don't have to talk about it. Just tell me, yes, you're angry. No, you're not. Um, and I'll accept that. And you're like, it's only 2 or 3 characters. Can you just text it? You don't even have to call me. Can you just, you know, uh, yeah, to where we're sitting there, like begging, just give me 2 characters on the phone, just NO or 3. And that's too much for them. We're sitting here crying, begging, and we're like, please, I'm not angry. We're explaining everything, days, months, years of us crying, and we want 2 or 3 characters typed on our text phone, and that's too much. We had to really think about that too, and to long for somebody who can be that cold. We can't expect people to instantly get back with us. That's unfair, but when it's a reasonable time. John says, actually, Dog Defender, I have been writing down notes on projects, but my phone's internal memory space is pretty much full. Have you optimized your phone? Even the SD card, uh, but by deleting old, I can make new. That's true. I have to do that too. Uh, yes, because once they're uploaded, there's a memory of them. So on the web, but also optimize your phone, and any extra pictures, upload those to a safe spot or print them out. Kalibi says an emotional abuser won't tell you that they are. And that's the thing. Yeah. Bassa was asking though, they usually don't. They usually don't. Um, unless they just, like I said, that one guy who was like, I just want to fuck you. Don't, you fall in love with me. I'm done with you. Um, cause that's just, he doesn't want to even deal with it. Um, they can tell you that. But if, you know, he could have gotten pretty much any girl, so he wasn't in like a dire straits to be with me. So it's kind of like, yeah, I'm cocky. You either fuck me and that you're cool with that. Because he could get it elsewhere. But sometimes people after a while they get desperate and they start manipulating, and some is just inherent in them. They're so used to manipulating, they're just going to do it. Why risk somebody saying no? So Kalubi says an emotional abuser won't tell you that they are. They will cover up their true selves to escape accountability. Don't waste your time asking them. Um, yeah. And this is, you know, I mean, if you think about it, if I'm like, babe, are you going to emotionally abuse me? They're going to be, of course, baby. No, I won't. Um, or sometimes too, they think this time I won't. This time I won't. I'm going to do it right. Um, but it's who they are, and that's going to set the vibrations off anyways, you know? Are are you gonna rape me? Are you gonna abuse me? Are you gonna, smack me across the face? What about punch me in the stomach? You sure you're not gonna do that? Do you think you're gonna divorce me? Okay, do you yell at girls? Are you gonna yell at me? Are you gonna and it's like it, it's over already, you know? Um, and that's why if everybody would just be upfront with everybody, uh yeah, it's hard. And that's where the little baby steps come in too when you're rebuilding or starting to build a relationship because if let's say that is a concern of yours, are you going to abuse me? Um slowly build the trust, as opposed to here, I got a little checklist for you. Let me interview you, and get to know people. Watch them. See how they interact with others. Dog says paper and pen, magnet on fridge or cork board. I have to write notes for my notes. In my bathroom, it says out school Mondays and Saturdays when I teach online because I forget. I have to. I was teaching 7 days a week, so it didn't matter. I just wake up and work. Now, when I do my online, it's not as many days, so I got to make sure I don't lose track of when it is. So I don't always look at the fridge. But when you're in the bathroom, that's why I get ready in the morning. It's staring at your face. Take a shower upstairs, and those mirrors fog up. And then I come put my makeup on downstairs in that bathroom. And the mirror's not all fogged up. Dog says, Debbie, he sounds like he was just Mr. Right, then deaf Mr. Right. Love shouldn't hurt ever. Like he was then defiant Mr. Right? Definitely. He sounds like he was just Mr. Right then, definitely Mr. Right. Yeah, love and you know, as far as love not hurting, sometimes, yeah, I get what you're saying. Um, there's times, yeah, if Mm. That's where the self-esteem comes in. That's where the self-esteem comes in. If both people have good self-esteem, it won't hurt. You know, if we're wanting them to, you have two people in the relationship and you can't be together and it was really important to you and it was really important to them, but for different activities. If it's handled the right way, it can be good, uh, with no hard feelings, no, but you never hear or you think your thing's more important. But I needed you. So, yeah, but we're human and people make mistakes and that's when it hurts. So, when we can try to do our best not to make mistakes, do our best to understand people so we can connect with them. Um, so, Dog says, Calibri, you are so wise. Definitely. Uh, I will send you articles. I have it broken down for you. Are you talking to sending me the articles or Calibri? Because you just mentioned Calibri. I think you're talking to me. John says, even though my narc did open up a little, mostly it was all lies. That's where it gets frustrating. You're like, I'm trying to connect with you. What do you like? Or, what are you afraid of? And, um, it's all lies. Yeah. Or the little pity party things. And so we're like, oh, I can't believe they went through that. And, Sometimes I'm just gonna make them a hot bath, give them a little massage because I didn't realize they went through all that and they need a little extra special love, and they just got us to pamper them for no reason. Um, oh, the prison tattoos are very strict. Okay. Uh, I can see that. Even prison to prison? Yeah, I think that's a whole different world where I can see that, yeah, where, they have, like, a little code, like a whole different language that has to be followed, otherwise nobody's gonna understand it. Um, yeah. John says that's her, Cynthia. She actually acted that way when she spoke. I believe it. Barrett said, "Hi, Barrett. Hello. Long time no see. Good to have you. What's been going on with you?" I'm no sure. Yes, I do remember you, but I found out my ex-girlfriend was a covert narcissist. Yes. And have you had contact with her? How long's it been? I don't remember how long it's been. I'm now sure. I'm now sure. Uh, oh, not sure. Yeah, I read it right. I'm not sure if you remember me. Yes, I do, Barrett. That's a little bit more of a unique name. I have heard Barrett before, but you don't see it that often. So I remember you popping in here before. How's things going? Barrett says it took a lot of therapy and studying to figure it out and gain closure. That's the thing. The closure takes a while. Barrett, can I ask you how long it took? I know we have some saying, that um, about how long is it going to take, wondering how long it's going to take for the closure. Some it takes a short time, some it takes longer. So, and also too, depending on how long we were with the person and what our personality is, how needy we are or sensitive. And I'm not saying those as bad things. It's just our personality. Uh, so how you doing now with it, Barrett? And Cleve says, Mia, I've been adjusting my clocks 1 hour ahead before I go to sleep tonight. I've been. Good for you. Mia says, because I type slow. Look at that. I love emojis. I just want to say, please, everyone, have a great rest of the night and a fantastic day tomorrow. Mia, happy birthday, Eve. And you never answer my question. But definitely happy birthday. If you would like um, to chat tomorrow, let me know. If not, I will see you the next time. I'll have to figure it out. Next weekend, I will be out of town unless it snows and I can't drive. But lots of love to you. Thanks for joining us. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mia. Happy birthday to you. And John says, all my clocks are changed. Kalibi, thanks for that comment, dog. Mia, after Cynthia, I'll change them. John, if put phone down, I lose Cynthia. Oh, if you put the phone down? Oh, I see what you're saying. So you're going to change clocks late? Oh, I'm sorry. Huh, is it your internet connection that'll cause it to cut out? John says, "I'll post your birthday short after the chat. Uh, I'll title it Happy Birthday, Mia." Oh, I think I know what you mean, Mia. I think I know what you mean now. No. Mia, John, you're just too precious, my friend. And I will not miss it, John, I promise. Oh, Melissa is going to church tomorrow. Yep, tomorrow is Sunday, so we definitely don't want to miss that. Get those clocks set correctly. And good for you, Melissa. It's good to have that in our souls, uplifting. Kalibi says, will two narcs relationship last for a while? Heck yeah. Yep, they can. They can last for decades or 2 weeks. Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can last a long time. It's all about the supply and what the other person's willing to put up with, you know. Yeah, or a lifetime. Doesn't mean it's a healthy relationship. Dog says, has anyone heard of gray rock, no content, s- tacked, cement bench? I haven't heard cement bench, but I can kind of, it's, yeah, gray rock and no contact. Gray rock is kind of like the silent treatment, but it's in response to the silent treatment. Um, we're not using it to manipulate. We're using it to keep a boundary. There's a difference. So when you're in gray rock, you are keeping a boundary. Um, you're not entertaining the conversation anymore. Um, you know, uh, and no contact is, not reaching out. I've gone no contact where the cement bench I haven't heard, but I get what it means. Mia says, Cynthia, I just wanted to say thank you for wearing the headphones so I am able to hear you. You're welcome. And I get to be Princess Leia. Do you guys say Leia or Leah? Princess Leia, I know. Um, was I just a silly little kid? Because did that come out in 1978? When was the first Star Wars? Because I remember we called it Leia for her, Princess Leia, but it is Leia, isn't it? Um, and then just growing up, that's stuck in our head. Uh, so you're welcome. Thank you for saying that. Debbie says the therapist also said it depends on the person. Could be 5, 10, or 20. I want to talk to him. I want to be strong enough that I can still walk away if need be. Yeah, if you coming back into contact. And yeah, sometimes too, we still want to finish saying what we have to say, like, what the fuck, motherfucker. Um, or I don't understand or things like that. But be careful. That's that little and how much are we gonna believe? If they said, "Look, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you." Are we gonna believe it? You know? Is it gonna cause an argument? Dog says, "I look at it like a diet. If you are trying to lose weight for a vacation or a wedding, etc., do you keep your home filled with all the food you love?" I sure want. Out of sight, out of mind. That makes it easier too. Yeah. Don't stock up on temptations. And when we search the social media, when we, you know, um, go to their common places of hangout, that's stocking up on the temptations. Perfect way to put that. Dog says, I just need to tell you all the things. Oh, Dog says, I loved your nephew. What a sweetheart. Um, yeah, so and I believe you are talking about my nephew that I interviewed for the psychedelics. Very intelligent family. And I think he did a great job. I think he did a great job. I look forward to him as he progresses in his studies so we can interview him again. Dog says, Mia, are you a lip reader too? If so, you wearing headphones will help tremendously. Oh, are you being serious? Oh, um, are you saying so she can hear me better too? Uh, that might be. Also canceling out any outside noises too. Um, hmm. Debbie says, I think he fell asleep. Narc put him in a fog for a few days. Dog says, I immediately block and make sure there is no way to stumble upon them, their number, picture, etc. It feels harsh at first, but ultimately, in hindsight, it has been the right move every time. Yep. And then there's no wondering too. When we don't do that, we're like, gosh, our phones are like in our hands all the time and just kind of like a nervous habit, like, nope, still haven't called. And it starts getting a habit and then yeah, it's just better, you know. Uh, John says, right after my experience with my narc, I deleted all her pics so I wouldn't have any reminders of her, blocked her too. And, you know, it, it, if you struggle, you know, um, like I still have pictures of, m- you know, my daughter's father, and that's because she'll inherit them. They're in my basement, um, you know, but I don't look through them, you know, uh, because those are your memories, but it depends on where you're at. Sometimes they need to be thrown out. Sometimes you can still keep them as a part of your life, that you know, just because you're not dating your prom date anymore, did you throw out your prom pictures? It was a part of your life, if you were dating that person. But a lot of times, too, in these relationships where they are so hurtful, that getting rid of that reminder can be a good step. Um, Yay, John. Very wise on your part, says Dog Defender. Debbie says, I told him I will always love him and I care about him, but I need this time. I told him, you have my number. You're giving him the power when you say that. And an open door. You know where I live. Silent treatment, 9 months now. Next Wednesday is your back surgery. So, did he say it back? Because this is what he's getting out of it. That yeah, he's loved. Why bother coming back? That you probably will. And you left it where he's in control. You didn't say if I decide to call you once I calm down or once I'm not pissed or once you grow up, you know, and you said, you know where I live. So call me, come over. Um, and that's what he's given you in 9 months. He hasn't contacted you. You gave him the power and he hasn't utilized it. And it would be different too if you maintained your power. He'd be sitting not so pretty wondering. And you know, he doesn't wonder. He's like, all I gotta do is call or go over. I can do whatever I want. She loves me. And we gotta be careful on how we do that, on giving up our power. So I do it too. Like that's something I have to learn to maintain um the power that we do have, you know. Um, you know, it's hard. And I know that when we say those things, um, we do love them. We have a love for them. So part of it is when we say those things, we also want to hear it back, and we don't. We can say it gets really tricky because there are times you just want to say it. I want to have some closure. I love you. And you said that you were the one that ended it. So, um, and the thing too that gets confusing is you told him you need this time. He doesn't know how long that time is. So when is he supposed to reach out? So things like that. And I'm not trying to pick it apart, but I'm also trying to show where little things can lead to confusion. She told me that you need this time, but you also said I could call you or come over. So we gotta be careful on that. And I get where you're coming. I probably would have said the same thing, but from an outsider looking in, I hope that helps kind of clarify things where there's little adjustments we can make. Uh, Kalibi says, Dog Defender, we have two narcs here on a relationship. Obviously, the guy narc is getting bored. He mentioned to me of lacking sex. Of course, Kalibi, you're so sexy. You know he was. Um, That's where it gets tricky. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe, maybe not. Um, you know, could be, but not always. So I don't know. Dog says, Debbie, I know the romanticizing can catch us off guard in a crisis. So plan who will help you after surgery and plan girl parties. You need a real person, not a shell of a pretend man. Yeah. And Debbie, do you have somebody helping you with that? I'm not sure how severe the back surgery is. Uh, so wishing for a speedy recovery. Did they tell you how much downtime that might be? Because that could be pretty major sometimes, and we'll be thinking about you. So I don't know for the Calibri thing, but yeah, Debbie, keep us posted. Definitely got to have a some people praying for you too. Dog says, I'm sorry you are having back surgery. But remember, we can do hard things. Yes. Yes. We are stronger than we realize. Dog says, I have a neck surgery coming up. I'm dreading it, but I know I can do hard things. Um, just gotta be strong, you know? I had a knee surgery and also a leg surgery. It's like I put the broken bone leg, I put that up for a year. I was walking around on a broken bone. Um, yeah, it would have been nice if I had that a lot earlier. Also put off my knee surgery, um, 6 months or something like that. And it was so nice after you had that surgery. It was like, whoa. So sometimes it's a relief, even though we're scared to have it. It's like, geez, I should have done that a long time ago. Basil says, and it's true, I should have made it more clear with my question. I meant to say, would a narc open up about their own childhood abuser that was a part of or fully the reason why they developed NPD? If they remember it, uh, if, yeah, they do. They do. Um, Oftentimes they do. Um, Not always, though. I know more than one narcissist. Depends on the dynamics of who they're talking to. Um, and if they recognize it, that a lo- I know they do. I definitely know they do. Uh, would they open up about their own childhood abuser that was part of or fully the reason? Yeah. Um, Sometimes, a lot of times too, they'll do that in the beginning to bond with you, to do the poor pity me, um, you know, or to connect with you. Um, the thing is we've all been through trauma. There might be times when you've talked about, I was so mad, my parents wouldn't let me go to camp and, you know, it caused me trauma because I was home all alone. My best friend got to go and I didn't have anybody to play with. And it's not necessarily abuse, but trauma. Um, to where you communicate in the beginning of a relationship, just talking about things, little life experiences or anger. But it's not so much talking about the abuse, it's realizing what the abuse did to you. So they can talk about it, but they don't really realize how it's changed them. You know, I hope that makes sense. And everybody's different. Um, if it was SA sexual abuse, that they might not talk about that. Um, cigarettes put out on them, they might not talk about that. But, I got sick of being slapped around. My dad was an ass and whipped me with a belt or whatever, you know. That's why I don't like wearing belts anymore. They can say things like that. Um, it depends. They are very different in that. So, dog says they don't even know what abuse is. Time is your friend when getting to know anyone. Slow and steady and be a silent detective. Some of them do know what abuse is. Some of them do know some pretty severe abuse, in my opinion. Um, but they put us through it. Two wrongs don't make a right. And um, yeah, some of them have been through hell. Not all. Some of them have been just confused by the, controlling and over, the too much praise. But it's sad that abuse causes abuse, hurt people, and that's why I want us to heal so we don't hurt people. We don't wanna become the bad guy because 'cause we're good people. John says exactly, dog defender. Um, but on that one, uh, I kinda disagree that they do know some pretty strong abuse, but they didn't learn from it. Um, so dog says, "Even if you do not have good self-esteem, better to fake it till you make it." And that's how you're gonna get it, you know? Never let them see you crushed if possible. Come to us or a friend. Yeah. And, that's not necessarily being a fraud. The fake it till you make it. Just like if I wanted to be a beautiful ballerina, I can fake it till I make it. I'm going through the motions until I strengthen into that. So, um, you know, that's kind of the fake it till you make it. It's not be a fraud. Me dancing around, being, the best that I can be as a ballerina so I can grow is the same as with our self esteem. We're doing the best that we can so we can grow from it, not to, fool somebody. Debbie says he never said anything about love. He mainly told me who I can and can't see. I said, okay, and did what I wanted. And that's like poor communication, or, you're like, okay, that's what you think. um, so I get what you're saying though. Like, okay, I've done stuff like that too, where it's like, uh, so yes, Mia, hope you have a great day tomorrow. New back surgery is April 18th. Foot surgery. Oh goodness. I got this. I'm pretty damn strong. I can take a lot. This will make 20 surgeries. That's right. You did say that. I can take a lot. This will make 20. I've had 5 knee surgeries from a canoe accident, then 2 knee replacements. Lots of love to you. That must have been a scary, pretty severe canoe accident. Sorry about that. Yeah, I've had some surgeries too, but um, keep us posted. Oh gosh, you guys, I gotta catch up. Doug says, yes, Cynthia, you Calibri is wise for his views. So you're gonna and not getting too close too fast. This is when being a mystery is a lottery for you. You're right. Can we do a roll call? Roll call. Let's see who's here. John's here. Yeah, do a roll call for me. Comment. Melissa's still here. Dog says like an AA in one of those types of meetings. Exactly. Barrett, hit the thumbs up, says Dog Defender. Calibri's, yo, I'm here. Rain Spirit Flower. Hi, Rain. How are? Is it okay if I call you Rain? Good to have you here. Sorry, I was catching up on the things. Feel free to join in. John says, speaking of snow, we didn't get very much. Mia says, yeah, we didn't get very much too, and we had a snow day on Friday. Mia says, thank you, Cynthia, so much. You're welcome. Our little birthday Eve girl. Ooh, only 21 more minutes to your birthday if you're in Eastern Standard Time. Kalibi says, Denny's give free meals to birthday celebrants. And Denny's is delicious. Dog says, no friends. Like, hi, I'm whatever you want to be called. I live in wherever you are capable of sharing. I'm here as if, oh, okay. She's like, no friends. I mean, tell me about you. So, dog is saying that just, I'm here. They want to know, a little bit about you. So we all know each other a little bit better. Feel free to share. Mia says, K Flyer, they closed all the ones around here in PA. What else has free restaurants? There's one that gives away a steak dinner. I think I don't even know if you can just go by yourself though, if you got to bring, if it's with a paid person. I don't remember the name of it because I don't even know if it's a chain. I'm so naive on things. So Rain is saying hi to John and thanks. So we're glad to have you here. Dog says, yes, Calibri, many restaurants. I'm going to send Cynthia a list. She can post. Yes, I will post that in the community tab. And you can't see Barrett. Maybe we scared Barrett away. Oh, Barrett, are you still here? Debbie says back surgery Wednesday. I did read that, but we have you in our prayers. Debbie says, yes, Mia. Hope you have a great day tomorrow. Kalibi says, gray rock means like You're becoming a wise consumer. We don't eat junk food any longer, especially from narcs. We don't react. Perfect. Rain says, speak so it doesn't get stuck in your body. Excellent. And what Rain is saying is, um, we have to let it out, whether it's through tears or our speech, or writing it out. We have to expel some of these thoughts. Otherwise, they build up. Rain says, I would appreciate if we get together tomorrow. It's going to be my daughter's birthday, and we're not in contact due to her traumatic brain injuries and possibly a toxic therapist. Um, and are you talking about with chat? You'd like to get in chat tomorrow? Um, Let me know if that's what you mean. So, or if you're talking about a one-on-one, I do one-on-ones too. So let me know what you mean by that, and we'll work something out. John says Debbie is the bionic woman. That's true. The $1,000,000 woman, $1,000,000,000 bionic woman. Debbie says, yes, I am. Look at that smile. Proud of it. Dog says, Debbie, we are twinning. I had 17 surgeries in past 2 years and had 3 upcoming. I've had 10 or more before. Some bodies are just meant for science, I guess. You are strong. You got this. I know. How many surgeries have I had? Burn scar revision, knee, foot, ankle, foot, and I've had stitches 7 times. Tonsillectomy, does that count? Um, I'm at 6. I've had more than that? I don't know. Unless you count the minor ones, like cutting out cutting out glass from my foot. Um, I had that 3 times in one summer. Just like kids don't learn, that was when I was a child. Glass in my foot 3 times, 3 ER trips, needing it. Oh, and then I sewed through my thumb. That's a minor kind of thing. Sewed through my thumb. Had a needle stuck. Couldn't had a little tip. But Debbie says, thanks, Dog Defender. Dog says, yes, I'm always serious. I wear headphones to listen to anything without captions. It gets tough to read on TV. I'm better in person. Yeah. It is harder too. It's more like 2D, I think, too. John says I've built a simple device, a brace with a cane and either side to help support my ankle. That's right. You were talking about that. How's your leg been doing? Um, uh, Sorry, I get all these pop-ups. So Mia says, thank you, Deb. John says, I'm calling it the leg cane. Well, that'd be cool. You could do like a little upside down L cane, like a cane upside down. So let me scroll down. I'm trying to catch up, but my computer's not moving for a sec. There we go. Mia says, Dog Defender. Yep. And John, what? Just kidding, Mia. Dog says, hi, Rain Spirit Flower. I've not met you yet. Nice to see you in here. Debbie says, yikes. Debbie, yeah, all these surgeries learned and noted. I wish I had known. Dog says, Mia, I'm not totally deaf either, but it has gotten worse over the years. I'm from the generations where bands recorded and no one wore ear protection. Garage bands, I did all the performers makeup. Oh, that's exciting. So Rain says it's so much easier to give your power away than to get it back. Yeah. And it's hard getting it back. We gave away too much of our power and now we want it back. But, they're holding on and perfectly said. Says John with a nice little smile. So Rainflower, just please try acupuncture before you have surgery. I'm not a doctor, but let's my ex's father had osteomyelitis, which is a bone infection, inflammation, causes severe pain. And he did a lot of acupuncture too, to relieve like broken back. He had a broken back with osteomyelitis and an infection or allergic reaction to the screws, the metal and the screws were also coming out. But acupuncture, trying to relieve some of that. I've never tried acupuncture. You hear it works. Dog says, Cynthia, I love when I see you with your thinking cap on. Trauma survivors don't always have boundaries and may not have been taught to whom you speak with about what has happened. So what do I look weird when I put my thinking cap on? um, you're right. You're right. Uh, yeah. They don't always have boundaries. You're right. Debbie says they don't know what happened to that last message, but thanks everyone. My daughter lives with me so she can help. Perfect. And Dog says rain spirit flower degenerative disc disease. There we go. With bone spurs and stenosis is not possible to cure with anything. I do physical therapy 3 times a week, but one fall could cause paralysis. That's a little scary. Um, yeah, that would be very painful. And uh, did you say it was in in your cervical with your back, your spinal column, or was it thinking about you? Kalibi says, and these two narcs acted as if everything is okay with us this afternoon. I just looked at them and did my poker face smile. Yeah, yeah. Debbie says, my future daughter in law is taking me. She took off Wednesday. Good, good. And I believe you said that she was a good woman too. Let me catch up, guys. There we go. Rain says, so sorry for what you're going through, Dog Defender, and everyone else is going through hard things on. Yeah, Debbie's having her surgery on Wednesday too. Rain says, on any level, Dog Defender, did you get your name because you used to rescue dogs? Ooh, Rain, you are on point. Go ahead, Debbie, or Dog, and let her know uh, what's going on. John says, I've got a lot of cleaning done in my apartment tonight. Boy, am I beat. Good for you. I thought about cleaning a lot. Actually did do some cleaning today, even wipe down lamps and stuff. Feels good. Looks nice in there. Um, Good for you, John. That's a healthy thing. This is our safe spot. Let's keep it clean and clutter free. Kalibi says, of all places, California is getting lots of snow and rain. I heard they're getting a ton. They're getting snow right now. Are they supposed to get like 7 feet or something crazy? Debbie says he used to say you are hard to control. Yes, he wants to control you. And I said, having fun is going to get worse. I know he likes my humor. Yeah, and dry humor can be very fun. You know, you just have to understand each other that it's dry humor instead of misleading or whatever. But yeah, I do a lot of dry humor too. John said, or sarcastic stuff too. John says I made a video short showing it snowing at the beach. That is rare, but I got good views on it. And yeah, John, if you look up John Moran, you should be able to find him. He's got a up and coming channel and he is a sweetheart. You should be able to see Mia's birthday video by morning. Rain says the snow is so beautiful. It's a trip to see snow at the beach. Yeah, like what? I lived in Florida for during the Christmas, Christmas, but it was sunny out and it was just weird, but yeah, that's kind of like a reverse thing, seeing snow at the beach. Um, because you think of the beach as sunny, but the different waves, like being living on Lake Michigan and the light houses, how gorgeous that is when they're covered in ice that is like as it's dripping down. All the different buildup of the ice rocks. Debbie says, "Give me a plastic bat and a tree, and I'll go to town." At least it's a plastic bat. Yeah. There you go. Vassal says, how much do private one-on-one sessions with the therapist cost and does it depend? How long are those sessions and could they happen in each other's homes or just on the therapist's office? Great question. It's going to vary on the person. Average is about, maybe you can get some for 60 bucks, but it's usually about 100 to $250, 100, depends on where you are. Could be more expensive in places like California or I'm assuming the United Kingdom, I think would be more expensive. There's also the exchange rate, things like that. So, 100 bucks might be, you know, what would be 80 pounds or so. But I'm in America. You can do the conversion rate if you are outside of America. Each area will vary. Um, but yeah, I'd say about 100, 150, maybe up to $250. And some insurance covers it. Some give you up to 10 visits, some don't. Some jobs have mental health call in places where you can get free mental health. um, there's NAMI, NAMI, which can be a support group. They can give you a sponsor to have verbalizations with you, little conversations. They're not a therapist, but the sessions are usually an hour for the most part. You possibly could schedule a half hour, 45 minutes. There's also different retreats that you can go on. Um, They may happen in homes. That's not very common. Maybe if you're elderly, they might have something for that or disabled. Usually they're in an office. Since COVID happened, I'm sure there's some that do it, over the phone. I know I do one-on-ones as a coach, to help. I'm a certified life coach. And those I do by Zoom. So it just depends on who the person is. But make sure the person that you get therapy with is well versed in narcissism because it's a whole different breed. And, you know, um, they have to understand what you went through. Otherwise, they're going to think you're crazy for staying or it's your fault or they're not going to understand, the trauma bond that happens. They might just say you have low self-esteem and it's more than that. It's, would we have stayed if we didn't know? We got knocked down and abused, fooled, and why didn't you just see the red flags? You can't always see the red flags. They are that good at manipulating. So, is it you had low self-esteem because they cheated on you when there's no way that you would have known, that you were hurt by it? So, uh, you know, um, yeah, definitely get a good therapist if you go to one. And yeah, it does depend. It does depend. Also check with insurance to see if some of that is covered. And check with your job too if they have anything like that. I know I had a job, I think it was State Farm Insurance. I can't remember which one offered it. Might have been a school. I don't know if I even have it now. So I'm going to say I love you guys. I'm going to talk for a little bit longer, but I'm starting to get dizzy tired. So we'll talk a little bit. It just starts with the reading, starts getting me dizzy. Um, I just got, let me catch up. I made bebops and so you meant COVID. Uh, Dog says, I was saying the more subtle things are abusive, they will not admit and or be conscious that words are just like fists. Loud talking and pointing may not be abusive in their simple mind. Yeah, exactly. Because there are subtle things, where if you're like, you need to, and they're getting in your face but it's like they just told you you need to do this. So just go take the garbage out. But it's those little subtleties too. Um, yeah. And they might like, "What? You can't take I just told you, I'm not doing anything wrong." Little subtleties, exactly. We don't talk about that much. the little subtle things, the little vibrations that damage you, the little dirty looks and the controlling or the um, dismissiveness and all that. Um, you know, John says 2 years ago they were supposed to put out a new movie, The $6 Billion Man, but the project was canceled when COVID started. So I bet you're looking forward to that. Has that come out yet? Dog says, there we go. I, I knew what you meant. John says, you're too funny, Deb. Rain says the UK has more help available for free than the US. That's fantastic. Yeah, call NAMI. NAMI is free. Um, and you can look it up. Uh, it, it's available. And they do have people, they got Facebook groups and they have sponsors. And that's nice knowing that the UK has it available. Um, or at least more options. And that's the thing too. Like if you think about it, the United States has one of the highest mental illness pandemic epidemic um, going on. We're out of control here in the U.S. and it just seems to be getting worse. And we're seen as entitled Americans when we go to different countries. Um, for a reason sometimes. So Debbie says, I've been told that, John, and thank you for sharing that, Rain. So Rain, you wanted to get together. Let me know what you meant by that. With all due respect, Cynthia, I once heard you say that MPD was the same. No, it's not. I'll correct that. I hope you have rethought that because that's not correct. You're right. Yeah, it is different. Um, it is different. But what I was saying in that is I was wondering the difference between male and female, how we uh, react. But there is a difference to it. Um, the way it manifests, the way it presents. So, no, you're welcome to say that to me. And I appreciate you bringing that up. Um, trying to think how and with all the gender transitionings that people are doing, um, kind of like this is gonna sound wrong. Let me think how I want to respond to that. I know what you're talking about though. And I did do a video too on the differences between narcissism and borderline. So I appreciate you bringing that up. Um, Debbie says, I've been told that, John. Thanks. I'm usually the life of the party, even if I'm in a bad mood. My friends love me. Good. And we should have friends that love us. So I don't know how to exactly that it would present differently. Uh, I'll have to think on my response to that. Um, where am I going? Yeah, scroll up and down. Um, talking about my thinking cap. Um, the snow is so beautiful, and I wish it didn't do that. I hit one little thing and it goes way up. Okay, I'm caught up now. Saying to call Nami. Okay, Rain. Yes, Debbie says I'm not trying to sound conceited, but that's my super empath too. I tell it like it is, and apparently that's funny. Yep, I li that's cool too. Yeah, just sometimes, straightforward, dry humor. And John says, "You have a great sense of humor, Deb." Look at that. And Deb says, "I try. My friend Ed is a bartender, and you should hear me there." That's fun. Yeah, when you start bantering back and forth or razzing people. John says, "I'm usually very straightforward with people." Same here. Oh, it did it again. I don't know why it does it. I don't. Okay. Kalubi says, "Have a restful night, everyone, and sleep well, Cynthia. Night, night, Jamie's on." Good night to you. Yes, it is midnight, so I'm going to be logging off pretty soon too. Rain says, "Sweet dreams." John says, "Have a good night." And Rain says, "Healing and comforting to us all." Mia says, "Cynthia, sunshine, please will you have a very peaceful and restful night's sleep. Pray you'll have a wonderful Sunday day tomorrow. Good night, Cynthia." And good night to Mia. Ooh, it is exactly your birthday. Happy, happy birthday. Just turned midnight here. So Mia says, "Good night, K Flyer." John says, "I'll post that video, Mia, right after this." I am here, John. I just type slow. Rain says, "We have to be an active part of it, not getting any worse. Every thought, word, and deed matters." Perfectly said. And yeah. And that's why I say too, like on revenge, you don't want to instigate things, you don't want to make things worse, you don't want to add to the snowball, because it it's going to be a terrible chain reaction, and we're kind of caught up in that. We're also caught up in, instead of learning how to communicate, we're learning to discard, dismiss. More people are it's good to have boundaries, but um the way people are so quick to dismiss instead of talk through things first. Sometimes there are certain things that are misunderstandings, but um, I talk about when I'm in the school system too, how, um, the the coddling versus being too strict, and um, yeah, society is, you're right. Every thought, every word, every deed matters. Every little uh like you said, the words we say, it puts little seeds into people's heads, and those seeds can either grow into a beautiful something, or they can rot and destroy whatever brain they're in, as an analogy. Dog says, "I'm going to fill you in, Cynthia, on our open chat. I have the report. It would vote everyone to death here. Debbie, I will be thinking of you all day." What do you uh, I'm going to fill you in on our open chat. Not sure what you mean. It would vote everyone to death here. I'm not sure what you mean. Uh, Rain says, "Loved Cynthia. You take feedback really well. I appreciate that, because I'm not saying I'm better than you. Where I know more than you, or are saying like that, it's just that BPDs get so discriminated." Yeah, and I know it is different. So, um, just like stomach cramps, okay? And this might not be the best analogy, but gosh, it's not gonna be this is like, I don't even know if this is gonna make sense, but like an inflamed intestines in a man um might present differently than inflamed intestines in a woman, because it could be aggravated by endometriosis or an inflamed uterus or something like that, where um the difference between the way then I don't even know how to say it the right way. Um, but due to inherent either upbringing, because in my day and age, women were raised a little bit different. And I did say too how the borderlines and the narcissists, but we'll talk more about that. But yeah, I do definitely, you guys can, disagree with me. You don't have to agree to me. You're welcome to correct me. Also too, things are constantly changing too. There's also different um therapists or researchers who have different views on different things or different theories. So borderlines do what's called borderline splitting. They tend to see things in all black or white. And I see that. I have a friend who she struggles with it. And, you know, I was hoping to interview her because she's been in therapy, you know, uh, has some issues with the coping, but there's a lot of things I like about her too, but she recognizes what's wrong, but can't like deal with it. The black and white thinking, narcissists do that too, though. That's the thing. Narcissists will do that too. Uh, Borderlines, you're right. I want to read what you're saying. Borderline is a personality disorder. Bipolar is a mood disorder. Exactly. That's the difference. Um, so that's a very strong point that people don't necessarily understand, that bipolar is a mood disorder, borderline personality. Narcissists almost never go to therapy unless it's court mandated, and even then they'll try to get out of it. Extremely correct. Basil says, interesting. Appreciate that, Cynthia. Are more expensive therapy sessions necessarily better or more effective in treatment? Does job experience or degree play a role in a therapist's capabilities? Um, yes, just like attorneys, though, you can sometimes get the creme de la creme for cheaper. Money doesn't always mean they're going to be better. Uh, you know, Going to a highfalutin school versus a decent one, it depends on how much the person puts into it. Which instructor that they had, how much they took upon to learn for themselves. You know, Years of experience, exposure, life experiences, uh, you know, um, not just age, because you can be 50 and having your first year at work because you took time to go to school. I don't always equate uh, cost with quality. Um, But if they specialize, you got to make sure that they specialize on things, and that they're a good match for you too. There's probably other people on YouTube that are on par with me, but for whatever reason, you're connecting with me. So I'm good for you. But um, your therapist you shouldn't dread going to talk to them. You shouldn't feel uncomfortable or berated or belittled. So their personality makes something important too. So that's extremely true about the narcissist almost never going to therapy. And then the borderlines are more likely to seek treatment. That is extremely true. And like I said, my friend's borderline and she is in therapy, works on herself, and she wants her narcissist to work on himself, but he doesn't want to. And, you know, um, Mia says, please, everyone, have a great day tomorrow. May you all sleep restfully, peacefully. Great group. Thank you for sharing. Good night, everyone. We love you. Happy, happy birthday, birthday girl. Lots of love to you. And people in and out of the therapy business tend to hate borderlines. And I think that is so, so sad that they are so hurt. Sorry, my thing is moving. But people don't like the hysteria. Yeah, and borderlines do what's so-called borderline splitting. They tend to see things in all black and white. Um, John says, mine actually asked for Cynthia's Gmail address, but suddenly a week later, said she gave up on what she was going to mental health to, but didn't stick to it. Um, yeah, I don't know if I would say she was borderline. I didn't know her well enough. I didn't know her well enough. Uh, but yeah, she gave up. Yeah. Uh, yeah, she was lost too. You could tell she was lost, but didn't want to take any advice or to talk through it. Um, Rain says narcissists do narcissistic splitting, which is grandiose, self-devalued. Other, this is one way you can tell them apart. Um, um, the split to grandiose or self-devalued. The other is throwing me off. this is one way you can tell them apart. Yeah, reword that for me, Rains, if you could. Uh, Debbie, if I skipped one of yours, do you mind? I understand why. I'm just letting it out. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's usually I can go back, but I might not be able to see it. And I want to kind of catch up. And when I scroll up, sometimes it's really hard to get to it. So I apologize for that. I know that's probably frustrating. So this is one way you can tell. Mia says, "Thank you so much for that. Happy birthday. You are welcome." Dog Defender says, "Yes, I can rescue dogs. I always have." And I'm sorry for that. I know that was frustrating that I missed your one. Debbie, if you could retype it, I'd appreciate that. Debbie says, "I plan on being interrupted by cancer and spinal and bone issues. The promise I made with my fosters and my own dogs for life." Um, you didn't plan on being interrupted. Yeah. But yeah, Dog Defender says, "I'll rescue those dogs till my final breath." So good for you. There are many types of therapy, also sliding scale. That is true. Some will take your income into consideration. Rain says, "Hey Mia, March 12th is a very special birthday. I hope you have one of the best ever." And Cynthia, you mentioned something about whether or not we wanted to get together to chat tomorrow. And that's what I was responding to. I don't think I could afford your personality right now. What do you mean by that? You don't think you could afford my personality? Am I bugging you? Do you mean financially or um j- oh, personally? I thought you said personality. I can't afford your personality. Told you it's getting late. Um so okay. So, no, I understand it's hard. I understand. But yeah, I know tomorrow's going to be a hard time. And yeah, I know we have Mia's birthday tomorrow, and I know we all go through struggles. We all go through a lot of pain. Um, if you let me know some of the things that I can help you with, um, I'd like to. I do have a company coming tomorrow. Otherwise, I would do a chat at night. And I, of course, have to cook for that dinner and then also get my lesson plans and everything for the week. But, I just want to make sure you guys are okay. And I really thought you said you couldn't afford my personality. I'm like, um, but, with Mia's, I think, signed off, but I was thinking maybe just a quick little happy birthday. Um, because I know you're going through a lot. Tomorrow's an important day for you, which is now today. And, the traumatic brain injury, um, our prayers go out to you, you know. Um, it's good to have a support system. And do you have anybody there with you, Rain, that you can talk to? I'm here as much as I can. Uh, if you would like, we can kind of meet up tomorrow for like an hour. I can set aside an hour if you would like in group chat to touch base with you guys. Um, John says, "I'm thinking of packing it in." Yeah, I'm about ready to go to bed too. Have a good night. Debbie says, "My husband just," lots of love to you, John. Good night. Debbie says, "My husband just changed the channel. I never see it happen, but he's been doing that." What do you mean by your husband just changed the channel? Uh, Dog Defender says, "Our dog was a rescue dog. We got him in a shelter." Are you saying an angel husband? That's kind of neat thinking. Uh, Let me catch up. Um, yes, let me catch up, guys. It just moves. And it's so easy when you scroll, but when I sit here and scroll, it flip flops. DBT is the most effective therapy. effective treatment for borderline is actually helping a lot of people with a lot of things. I can't recommend highly enough. Marsha Linehan, I don't know how she says it, Linehan is the mother of dialectical behavioral therapy. And there's all the yeah, there is different kinds. The self of the therapist can matter the most. I agree. I agree. You got to have that connection, that trust, so you can feel comfortable opening up. Um, Perfectly said. Rain Spirit says, "You're so welcome, Mia." Mia says, "Oh, thank you, Cynthia." Uh, did you start going 3 hours on your lives as a strict routine, or does it depend on your schedule? Um, I was doing like 3, 4 hours in the beginning. It depends on I try to do at least two if people are joining in. Depends on my bladder too. Unless you guys don't mind me taking a break. But yeah, I think 2, 3 hours is good. Sometimes I don't mind going 4 hours, just depends on my energy level. Um, because I was getting a little burnt out because I was doing it like every day. So I'm next weekend I will be out of town, and I do have to kind of pace myself because I'm in burnout mode. Um, so I have to focus on school, otherwise I sleep through alarms. So I will do an hour or two here and there throughout the week, but as a schedule, I'm trying to pretty much do Fridays and Saturdays for you guys. Over the summer, I can do a lot more. Over my spring break, I just got to be careful with burnout that the kids are wearing me down. And I'm sleeping hard. I just can't risk, oversleeping. And then I get cranky with the kids, and I don't want to do that. So I love you guys so much. I kind of get addicted to talking to you guys in a sense to where I don't want to log off. um, so no, it's not a strict thing. And I try to keep around, 2, 3 hours so people can log in. And if they log in near the end, and I can stay. John says, no problem. Mia. Rain says, no, what I'm saying is borderline borderline splitting. They see things in black and white. Narcissists tend to do narcissistic splitting where they see themselves as grandiose and they devalue. Um, I get it. I get what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Where they devalue others, but I get what you're saying. I'm so sorry. That's not what I meant. I didn't mean your personality. That was my fault for not reading it the right way. I can't afford your personality like I don't. That's so funny. um, no, I just took it as how some people I can't handle like a Ford handle that way. But that's so funny. I didn't mean it. I thought I thought you were like I can't take it on. I can't take on your personality, or you know what I mean. Too funny. That's why spelling matters. Debbie said, and you spelled it the right way. I just mean reading it in my mind. You spelled it the right way. My mind didn't take the words. Do you guys ever have, and let me explain that because I, I visualize things. And so it was a visual thing. So when I said that, um, I was talking about the visualization in my head that it was spelled differently than it should have been. So it wasn't their misspelling, it was my mind twisting it, just because I filled in the blanks without taking my time to read each letter. And that's where miscommunication sometimes can go through too, where it's like, no, I meant what I saw in my mind, not what you wrote. Um, so clarification is important. Debbie says, my husband, Art, who died, changed it, but I changed it back. At least I know he's around. That's kind of neat. That is kind of neat. There are some things, that happen. Mia says, that was so lovely, John. I do thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, my friend. Rain says, thank you for making me laugh. I really appreciate that. I've been a very sad girl. Aw. And let me scroll back up. Hold on. I saw somebody say they appreciate me, but let me scroll back down in a sec. I became a mother on March 12th. Oh. And um, you're gonna have to refresh my memory because you said that you were gonna be alone, and was it your daughter that had the traumatic brain injury? And I don't mean to be disrespectful. If you can remind me of the situation. So yeah, becoming a mother. So it's a special day for you. You know, that's an experience that you got to have. It seems like you're going through some more too, though. So Mia says, Cynthia, please do shorts through the week. If oh yeah, I can definitely do shorts. I like doing the shorts. Do you like my shorts? Which one is your favorite? So um and I don't think you mean today. In the last 21 minutes, had to log in and tell you guys. But yeah, Debbie's saying congratulations. This is a motherhood day. Rain says the word company is so beautiful to someone who's spent too long alone. Yeah, I get it. Especially like when we had COVID too, you know, being locked up, and a lot of us lost connections with people, and um, we need connections. Company is important. Basil says, appreciate your hard work, Cynthia. You really do deserve praise for your efforts. Thank you so much, Basil. Mia says, love you too, Cynthia. Look at all that love. Rain says, thank you. Love you guys too. Mia's still there giving you big love. I know, lots of love. Mia says, congratulations, Rain Spirit Flower. And I know if I that is a beautiful name too, Rain Spirit Flower. When you think of it, I have no support system. I'm completely isolated and have been for about 3 years. Brief interruptions. Haven't seen my daughter in a very, 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 very long time. Many years. She doesn't intend to see me again, but I'm trying not to believe that. I shouldn't be talking about this. It changes my blood chemistry to poison. Um, yeah, I get it. When it's our child and we want to reach out to them or communicate with them, it's a trigger for us now. And um, it's something that we do need to deal with. Um, are you all going to bed? Would you please hold a good night thought for me? I've never been this alone. I miss my daughter, and there's a chance I'll never see her again. I don't want to give in to this despair. Um, how long has it been since you've seen her? I know you said years. And, it's hard, but, if we chase after them, that it's going to make it worse. I don't know if you guys had a big fallout or just different personalities. If there's something that she feels you did wrong, is there a way that you can ask her, is there something, how can I show you, how can I rebuild trust with you? Or, sometimes reaching out makes it worse. And um, Debbie says goodnight to John. Basil says goodnight to John. And yes, we will definitely have a thought in our minds for you. Mia says, yes, Cynthia, even 21 minutes from now, if ready for your great shorts. I just love them. They are great. Well, 21 minutes from now, let's see. I'll probably need to get some bed, but I don't know. I'll have to see if there's a filter. I got all my wigs. My wigs are in my kitchen. Rain says, "Don't worry about me. Just me. See me smiling through and being strong, and think of my daughter healing. And if she needs to be away from me to feel good in life, then I hope it's working for her." And that's the true motherly love, that we want what's best for them. And sometimes they need to go on their adventure. Really appreciate you and all that you give, Cynthia. Don't want you burning out, girl. Yeah, it's just I just know I am like a workaholic, which of course those are coping mechanisms too, but I do work a lot, and it my body just shuts down, and I need to sleep for 3 weeks or I'm sorry, 3 days, like, constant the entire weekend, um, and I just feel it. I just feel that I'm getting to that point. So, um yeah, I kinda lost my cool at school on Friday, and I yelled at the kids. I'm like, "I'm pissed!" So, I can't do that. So, I don't wanna yell at the kids that I'm pissed. I try not to use the word pissed even when I get pissed, and I said it with kids, so yeah, that, what was it called again? Oh, I gotta oh, yay, yay. Phonia, um yeah, I wanna check into that a little bit more where it's overstimulation with noise, ADHD, and I'm like, I bet teachers go through that where that, you see a lot of teachers, and I wonder if that could develop over time. So, they were just all day long, super loud and misophonia. Yeah, is that what's going on? Am I pronouncing that right too? So, thank you for understanding. And Mia says, "Please, Rain, you are in my prayers. Bless, hold close to your heart your daughter. You will see." I hate it when it does it. I'm getting back there. You will yes. Hold close to your heart your daughter. You will see her again. Please hold your head up. You are not alone. You have all of us. Please stay strong. And yeah, you just got to have the faith. Um, let those vibrations pull her back in. If she ever peeks in on you, you never know, you know, that you're going to be where she needs you, in a good spot as opposed to depression. Um, that you're ready for her to come back if she does. And, you know, sometimes I don't know how you ended things with her. Um, is it because of her closed head injury that she's not connecting with you? I got a little mix up on that part. And sometimes people change, if that's what it was, it can alter personality sometimes too, or memories. And that can be extremely hard, you know. Um, I'd, I'd like to know a little bit more of your story if in time when you're ready to talk about it. Uh, Basil says, wishing everyone peace, love, and care. So let me read this real quick as we log off. I'll read through this, but it's time for us to say goodbye. Basil says, wishing everyone peace, love, and care. And yes, Basil, thank you for joining us so much. We didn't get to talk to you too much, but I hope that everything's going good with you. And I'm sure we'll have more time in the future because I'd like to interact with you some more too. Mia says, Cynthia, you are just too cute. 20 minutes and counting. I'm so tired. Oh, the pressure's on. Oh my gosh. Um, I'll publicly sing happy birthday to you. No, I won't. Rain says, thank you, Basil. Basil says, Rain, Spirit Flower, you're most welcome. Yeah, we will definitely keep you in our thoughts and our prayers. Mia says, Rain, so you are very loving and articulate. Please know you have friends here praying for you. Big hugs, much love. March 12th, many, many years ago. And reminder days. Yeah. And, you know, think about the blessing though, the time that you did have with your daughter. Um, and be happy for those times. So today, look at today as a celebration of the time that you had with her. And instead of seeing it as a loss, see it as a bonus that you had that time. And that'll help. That will help. And try to keep it positive. Um, yes, daughter has had two traumatic brain injuries. Oh gosh, she had two of them. Okay, so that's really hard to communicate. Sometimes, yeah. Lots of love to you. That's got to be hard. You hear about people with Alzheimer's or dementia. Their brain isn't working right. So Lots of love. Unconditional love helps. And you have that here and what you're giving your daughter, unconditional love. So, yeah, it'll yeah. I'll think about you. Keep tomorrow positive, and I'll just say goodbye to everybody. Basil, Rainflower, and Basil says to Rain Spirit, you deserve it. Thanks for all the roses for us. Yes, you do. Debbie says, I feel like caving. Tie me down. Oh, you're not caving, girl. You're not caving. We're going to see you soon, and you are going to celebrate those 100 years. And you have control over whether you cave or not. So sometimes just taking a cold shower, kind of shucking yourself back to reality, reset that vagus nerve. You know, because sometimes you're going to kick yourself. You if you want to know what he feels about you, he has to show you. You can't ask it. You can't, and it won't feel the same. You know, let him show you. That's when it's going to mean something. You asking for it is not going to mean anything. It's not going to bring you happiness. So to get to what you need, you're gonna have to restart all over again. So it's up to you if you cave, but I wish I could tie you down because I would. Mia says, thank you, Basil. Please, you do the same. Sweet dreams. Rain says, unconditional love does help, and it so does. Debbie says, Rain, Spirit, Flower, I'm here for you. Mia, Rain, you had that with Cynthia and all of us. Good night. Rain says, Debbie, thank you. Basil, I hope to have you to be in your lives earlier, Cynthia. I just been watching a lot of sports, which was taking my time. Oh, that's all right. Sports, it's okay. Oh, in my live chats, is what you meant. Yeah. Okay. I understand what you're saying. I thought you meant my life. You mean the live chats. So yes, I understand. You can do better. Mia says, I'm coming with the rope. Stay strong, please, Deb. Yes, we're going to celebrate this. You're going to go take that shower. Exactly. And it'll help. It'll help. You're going to be taking like 30 showers a day. Like, dang it. But you got this, Deb. You got it. Rain says, Basil, I like the Seattle Seahawks. Other than that, I don't pay much attention to sports. Do you know about that team? Yes, they've been in the Super Bowl a couple times. Debbie says, you're so right. You had the power. Rain says, I love that there's a lot of dog rescuers on here and a lot of rescue dogs. I used to rescue abused dogs late at night and rehome them. That is so fantastic. And might want to get back into that too. Lots of love to you guys, and happy birthday, Mia. And Rain will be thinking about you today. Good night, sunshine. Good night, Mia. Good night, everybody. See you soon, and I'll do a couple videos. Working with kids, in my opinion, it is the hardest thing. Some people are. I got to be easy on myself. I had an overdose of kindergartners that were so talkative. Unfortunately, I don't know them. I watch mostly combat sports and sometimes soccer. So lots of love to you guys, and I will see you soon. Stay strong. You got this.